Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Valley of the Sun 200 for the FLCC Friday Night Lights Series, live from Phoenix International Raceway. My name's Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mons, and our producer in the booth, Howie Burrows, will be joining us here tonight. We're going to be running 200 laps around this little miniature Pocono-looking racetrack, little triangle thing. Got to ask you, Ron, how excited are we for the night's race?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. This is a venture off into normalcy for these competitors off the back of two plate races and a road course last time at Circuit of the Americas. These racers finally going to get the opportunity to catch their breath, relax. This is a more typical racetrack. It's been in the NASCAR world really dating back to the 70s, but it was the first time in 1988 when the NASCAR Cup Series ran here. But here on these O'Reilly machines, this is a bit more normal compared to some of the races that we have had up to this point. So I think our thoughts are kind of vague at the moment. These competitors, though, really happy to have a more typical racetrack to tackle here tonight.
So let's see if we can. Thanks so much, Ron, for sharing that insight on that. I got to say right now, looking at what we have in terms of our playoff point standings, I guess, so far, we don't really have a playoff anymore, guys. It's all about the chase. And take a look at it right here on your screen. It is kind of a battle. You see a couple of guys that dropped out. Last week, though, you can take a look at COTA. We saw that we had Andrew Dyson go out there and win. He's on the winner's board, sitting P8 in the points, 13 points in the good. He's kind of in a good spot here, Ron. I got to say, he's pretty good on the road courses, but I don't see him in the field quite yet out here, actually. He's not here tonight.
I have a feeling that he may have just shown up for that race and that race alone, but hey, if he shows up for the road courses, he'll still be able to get some good practice in for the FLCC that he can catch here on Saturday nights here on Maconi Entertainment. But Dyson put in a fantastic drive to continue on the list throughout this season that we've had of three different race winners. Eddie Rose got the W at Daytona, Jacob Simpson got the win at Atlanta, and of course Andrew Dyson was able to grab the win last time out at Circuit of the Americas. So let's see what we have in store here tonight. 2025 in the Friday Night Lights Series saw varied winners throughout the season, lots of one-off winners, so maybe seeing that pattern continue here even though we're into the new calendar year.
Absolutely. I think that we're going to see a lot of different winners. It's just so hard to win in this series. Take a look at your race information there, 200 laps. You got stages at 45 and 90. 4 tire set, 17 incident limit means you got to carry your stuff. You can't crash every 5 seconds. You will get DQ'd. I guarantee you, we have a full field tonight. All 40 cars will be out here, and we had one driver go home. Unfortunately, Tyler Hunter came out here and will be going home, but willingly. He chose to go home so that way somebody else could make the race that races this full time. So, again, just showing some good old sportsmanship there, Ron. But looking here at this pylon for the qualifying order, I can tell you right now, Team Conti this week is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, this is a handling-dependent racetrack. Not a lot of banking to help you out, as we saw in the open of the broadcast. Only about 11 degrees at the most. So you don't have that to benefit you. You just need a good handling race car, and that Team Conti stable is always really good on these handling-dependent racetracks. So keep an eye on them to really be a tour of force here in this race. As I think, Kirk, with all that being said, we can take a look at the starting grid for tonight's race.
Yep, that's right, man. We're going to go ahead and tell you who's starting where. Let's go ahead and pull up that graphic, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Break out some WD-40 real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit stuck. Just, and then
grease it up, allow it to roll, see if it'll pop up. Oh, it thought about it. There we go.
WD-40 worked.
All right, starting on the pole, Adam Benefield, riding that 83 car, pretty dang fast alongside Bryce Renier. Again, Team Conti Sim Performance on the front row. Starting in third tonight will be the driver of the number 73. It is Joseph McWhorter. To their outside will be Bryson Hicksonball. Going to be hard to beat tonight, starting fourth. Starting in fifth will be the driver of the number 71, Hunter Truel, trying to have a better week than last week. And Alex Murray showing up here in the 54. Starting in sixth. Starting in seventh tonight will be the driver of the number 77. It's Seth Foudy. To their outside will be the driver of the number 88, Daniel Wiles. Starting eighth. Starting in 9th will be the driver, the number 95. It's Wesley Napier, and to their outside will be Blake Kluwat.
And then looking outside of your top 10, we got Edward Scherer Jr. in the number 94 car starting this race in 11th. He'll be alongside the number 1 machine of Dustin Hall. Right in tow from there, it's Drew Prohl in the number 08 car starting this race in lucky spot P13 alongside Kyle Amon in the number 17 car starting this race in 14th. Right behind him will be William Owens in the number 30 machine starting in P15. Casey Graves will be alongside in the 01 car in P16. Looking right behind them on row number 9 will be Brandon Hastings in the 81. Next up, Brandon Hunsinger in the number 92 car. And then completing your top 20 will be Kevin Zosiak alongside the number 56 car of Noah Woods.
Starting in 21st, driver the number 20, it's Devin Medeiros, and to their outside, Jeremy B. Brown, starting in the 46 car in 22nd. Starting in 23rd will be driver the number 44, it's Cliff Mullins, and to their outside, driver the number 74, Brian Wertman, starting 24th. 25th will be driver the number 27, Tim Phillips, and to their outside is DQ, so this driver will actually not start 26. Tyler Hunter is not here, so he will be out. Starting in 27th will be Jacob Simpson in the 22 car. To the air outside will be Tanner Marty in the 29, starting 28th. 29th will be 25 car Evan Mesnard. To their outside, Dave Hoitzma coming out here to make a start in 30th.
Yeah, then looking from there, we got Michael Deitch in the number 91 car starting in 31st. Eric Wineland in the 21 will be alongside in 32nd. 33rd will be the 75 of Charles Ian. Alongside will be the 34th place starter, the 31 of Jared Grodzitsky. Right behind it's Cody Bird in 35th. Michael Menard in 36th. Hunter Bogdan in 37th. Matthew Boston Wheeler in 38th. Daniel Llewellyn and Bill Hull will round out your 40 starters here in the race. Kirk, this is going to be a fun one.
Yep.
Let's bring the action here at Phoenix.
All right, coming down that old front straightaway into the final corner of the day. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. Here we go for the Valley of the Sun 200 in the Friday Night Lights Series through that restart zone. Buggity, buggity, buggity. Let's go racing, boys. Oh, look at him fan out there on the first lap all over the track.
Yeah, everybody hand off through the dog leg through 1 and 2, trying to get some moves done on one another, but a fantastic start for Benefiel after a 5-win campaign in 2025, looking to maybe have a better run here in 26.
He leads lap number 1, Adam Benefiel, first lap of the day on his shoulders, but Joseph McCorner moves up to second from third, but he's still under fire from that 5-car Bryce Rainier and Bryson Hicksonball trying to make the bottom line work, trying to get third away. But all through the field, it is a big field, so it's been really bad in the official races this week, but these guys have been warned before they came into the race today that they want to keep it clean. That's why they don't run officials right now. They want to be able to run in a fun pack race. However, right now, these guys, anything can happen. But up front, it looks like that they have been a good battle starting to form between the 5 and the 73 for second.
Yeah, McWhorter, who was able to grab the 2025 championship with a win here in the fall of last year, feeling some pressure with Bryce Reiner all over him like a bear rug. Keeping an eye on those two as it looks like the battle has maybe cooled off for now. My attention is being drawn right behind them. Bryson Hicksonball holding on to 4th and Alex Murray right behind in P5. Interesting to see what battling may go on between those racers. They can't battle too much, otherwise they're going to lose track of the top 3. But battle's a battle. Everybody's going to see the red missile with the sun coming down. These drivers may start to squabble up here soon.
Yeah, early on, it's all about trying to get into a rhythm, trying to make as much ground up if you're in the back of the pack and move forward. Right now, looking at this field, the only big mover I'm seeing so far, I'm not really seeing much. It's only been a few laps. Most spots I see gained so far is probably 3 or 4. Not much at all. But they're still side by side back here battling for, oh, what is that? That looks like the 22 car back there. We're going to have to triple check that to make sure, but they're starting to get single file quickly. But the 17 car of Kyle Ammon stuck up on the top side. With Noah Woods, it looks like on the bottom, a little bit further back.
Yeah, Noah Woods up to P17 at the moment, right in front of Kyle Ammons. So that's how that's going to look like right now in that battle for 17th at the moment on the road. Got to say, Kirk, and this is one of those races where you really want to hit the ground running, get a good start off to these stages. So pick off those moves when you can get them done and really make hay while the sun is shining.
And hit the ground running. That phrase always makes me think of the opening of Shrek. Gotta say, first time I mentioned Shrek this season. Hopefully it's the last. We'll find out. But I gotta tell you right now, that 81 of Brandon Hastings, you have a point. He's not really making much ground up at all. He's kind of in a bad spot because he's currently running in 18th. He's lost one spot from where he started. But a driver who's really falling back is Kyle Ammon. Remember, he started in 14th. He's back to 19th, going the wrong direction. And then you got guys like Jacob Simpson right behind him in the 22 car. He started 27th. He's now all the way up to 20th. So he is moving forward in that 22 car.
Yeah, so making up the places, making up the time off the back of that win at Atlanta a little bit earlier on this season, or I guess it is Echo Park Speedway. We'll still call it Atlanta for simplicity's sake. Number 22, Jacob Simpson, looking to keep the momentum rolling through the early portion of this season. A win like that can put a whole lot of wind in the sails of a competitor, and even though a win doesn't assure you to make it into the postseason, now that we have the chase format instead of the playoffs, you still got to make sure you stay with it here in the early stages. So a lot of racing between now and the start of the chase, but really good foundation that he can build off of throughout the rest of this campaign.
Take a look here on your screen right now. We got that 54 car last week in the FLCC. Alex Murray actually got a week suspension from the Top Tier Racing Series. So he had a contact with a driver and had a little disagreement, a little retaliation on the racetrack, and that caused him to not be allowed to race in the FLCC race this week. So I'm guessing he came here to the Friday Night Lights Series to try and race here instead. And right now he's in a good position, sitting in 5th, trying to catch up to the back bumper of Bryson Hicksonball, one of the best that we have in the FLX or the Friday Night Lights Series. He's one of these guys that's just able to win all the dang time, but he is pressuring him right now. At 54 of Alex Murray, these guys up front are the same guys who I expect to see up front week in and week out.
Yeah, and you see those returning cast of characters here in this series. Top running racers, always going to contend. This is one of those tracks where, as I said, it tests a driver's car, but also tests a driver's skill as well. If you're a good racer and you can do well everywhere, you can most certainly do well here. Really the mastery of Phoenix, pardon me. If you can master this track, you can master just about any single thing that you drive. It is such a tough nut to try and crack. It's got a mix of it all. You've got the kind of the sharper, flatter turns. You've got a bit more banking to help you out off through 3 and 4. They've got that dog leg that'll help you worry about a car that is not liking the transition from the banks onto the flat part on the apron. So this is a track that just tests every single thing about a driver and a car. It's a good representation of what we can expect throughout the season, both in terms of the drivers that are going to be contending and those who are just always going to be running up towards the front, even if they're not contending for the win.
I gotta say, man, it's one of those races that just seems to be really difficult to follow when you're in the race itself, because you just want to try and save as much gas and tires as you can, knowing that you don't want to burn up the right rear tire. It gets real loose and snappy in the middle of the corner. I just got to say, though, up front, you're going to see the single file stuff happen quite a bit early on. Wait for maybe another 5-10 laps, and we might see some drivers' tires who might not have the best handling race car start to slide on them. Might start getting a little more loose. I'm looking throughout the field, and it seems pretty single file. Everybody seems to be running a very nearly identical line, but the leader of this race has really scooted out to kind of a big lead over Joseph McCorder, so much so that we had a driver here right in front of the leader that actually had a problem. Hunter Bogdan is about to get lapped. It looks like that he had to come down pit road. He was lapped. So he had something going on to where he had to go down to the pits, came back out. I believe it was because his upload packet had an issue. So he is multiple laps down, sitting dead last right now in that 86 car.
Yeah, it's a tough break there. Of course, in real life, you've got mechanical issues that can take you out, but in the sim, you got failures that can hurt your chances as well. Do want to ask you though, Kirk, kind of talking about this combination here at the start of the season and what sort of racing we expect as we go throughout the rest of this race and go throughout the rest of this opening stage here tonight. Would you say that the stage points have a bit more importance and a bit more value here at this race compared to the rounds that we've already had at Daytona, Atlanta, and Coda? I would honestly say that we're going to see less racers try and flip the stage here. I think they're going to be a bit more locked on getting the points and just trying to stay with it throughout.
I mean, flipping the stage in the first stage actually might not be the worst idea, but I think, honestly, flipping the stage in the second stage is a little bit better. Because if you're able... Well, I still don't think people will do it. You're most likely going to get lapped, and it ain't worth it when you get lapped. Not to mention the chase format does not really allow that to work out for you long run. You want to get good finishes at the end of the day. Sure, the stage points are nice, but you'd rather finish 10th with no stage points than 20th with 10 stage points. It's not necessarily the same for me. But I got to say here at the end of the day, looking at this, I got to give these guys some props. Because in the announcements tab for this league, all drivers were required to read this. They added a new prize this season for the Friday Night Lights, sponsored by an anonymous driver. And this new prize is that it's a Clean Driver Award. Rewards drivers for finishing in the top 10 with 0 incident points during the race, with the top 3 drivers at the end of the season receiving a payout. So this is going to be something that's going to be a new standings, a new driver standings for this. It's all based on incident points. So if you finish in the top 10 and have the lowest incident points, you might get some extra money. The eligible driver with the most clean driver points will receive $100, plus an additional $100 if they win the championship. So $200 if you go for the championship with clean driver. Second place gets 50 and third will get 25. Point being is that it is in these guys' best interest to drive with care. Now, will that happen? I don't know. So far, so good, but anything can happen, and we've seen it before.
See, in the heat of battle, sometimes things can maybe get a little bit hectic, but I do like the idea of having a clean driver award. That's quite cool to have.
There is this pack of cars right back here in a right about 20th spot. Looking at Kyle Ammon, yeah, you're looking exactly in the right spot. This pack of kind of 2 by 1 by 2, I guess.
Formation flying.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Yeah. They were kind of aggressive here, especially that Jeremy B. Brown in the 07. He's diving in there deep trying to make it work. His car looks real loose, though, from the top side. So keep an eye on that 07. We'll see if that tire hangs on for a long time. He's throwing it in there pretty deep.
Yeah, going for some gutsy moves. Oh, right as I say that, he drifts wide through 3 and 4, and that nearly ended in disaster. Certainly hurt him real bad. Casey Graves trying to get his bearings straight at the current moment, going to drop down slightly, but that could have been a heck of a lot worse. One driver saw that and's got to say, nope, I'm trying to get out of here. The 46 trying to just blow his doors off. It's marked as the number 46 on the road, different number on the car that we have on the graphics, but I digress. Jeremy Brown saw that and said, nope, I'm done. He's just trying to drive away, and I can't necessarily blame him.
Well, back to Kyle Ammon right now. He's kind of all over the place. This driver has been falling back quite a bit. 17 car has a lot. He's 3 wide right now going into this corner. He started in 14th. I'm going to reiterate that. 14th, he's dropped back since the green flag to 25th. Contrary to the 2 car right in front of him, of Ryan Von Henschel, he started 41st. He is up to 24th. He has already gone almost halfway through the field and gained that many spots, but the 17 has done practically the opposite.
And early in these races, at this point, we're kind of seeing that convergence start to go down with drivers who have been really feeling confident. You look at your likes of the other hard chargers thus far. Ryan Von Henschel, who started the race all the way at the back in 40th. He's up 16 spots. Jacob Simpson in the 22 car. He's up 11 spots. Eric Wineland up 9 in the 21 car. And Tanner Marty up 4. Then you've got those racers who haven't been cutting their way through the field like a hot knife through butter. Instead, they have been sinking down into a muddy pond in the same way that an anvil would. they're starting to kind of intermingle at this moment, and for both parties, for both sides involved in something like that, it's a bit of a terrifying prospect. You know, if you're a driver who's been really feeling at ease and comfortable with your race car, once you start to battle with somebody who's just, you know, skidding around like a declawed cat attempting to climb up an igloo, that's when you start to run into some trouble. So this kind of danger zone at this point for these drivers who are starting to intermingle with varied levels of speed.
I got to tell you right now, Ron, this is the part of the race that I find the most technical and kind of a pain, is when you get the tires like they are right now, where drivers are having to search all over the track to find grip. You saw that there in this corner with Bryson Hicksonball, the 54 of Alex Murray. These guys went all the way up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, try and find grip. And let's watch it again. Watch this, how they take this next corner up here in that little grouping here. Watch this right now. Goes in the corner, and they're way up the racetrack. Leader of the racetrack was all the way down on the yellow line. These guys are up by the wall, trying to find any amount of grip they can get, and trying to chase back down Adam Benefield, who has opened up a 2-second lead.
Yeah, so as all this battling is going on farther in the back, Benefield is checking out after becoming the first driver thus far this season to grab a second pole. He's looking to try and break through into victory lane, so a long way left to go for him, but certainly looking good if the first 30 laps is anything to go by. He's feeling calm. Everybody else farther in the back, though, starting to feel a little bit nervous. We got this fight with the 5, the 54, and the 63. I'm going to ask you here, Kirk, who do you fancy the chances for in this battle?
In this battle, Hicksonball. I think Hicksonball is going to be the guy. He's not pushing 100% right now. I can guarantee you that. Hicksonball right now probably, in this case, is just waiting for a mistake to happen. You saw that there. The 54 got loose. I think that 54 car is driving really ill handling right now. Looking at it, it's snapped loose a few times. And I honestly would not want to be behind the wheel of that car right now. It is very loose. 63 is trying to take advantage of it here. Went down all the way low as he could. Did not quite work out. Had to let off so he didn't rear end the back of the 54. We'll see if he's going to have a run off the exit. It looked like he was trying to set one up, but not ever going to be able to work that particular way. As we're looking back here at Napier and the driver of the 22 who is moving forward. Jacob Simpson and Napier. This is the battle for 13th.
Yeah, keeping our attention focused on some of these battles, even for the ones outside of the top 10 getting into the end of this stage. Still crucial. Still some very good racers in that. Yeah, here we go. Side-by-side battling. Unfortunate series of events there. McWhorter driving off into the sunset as this fight really got intense.
Yeah, there goes Alex Murray again, sliding it in on the inside, just really loose. He's trying to make it rotate, but it's just not working, and that's what's going to benefit that 63 of Bryson Hicksonball. He was going to be able to wait for him to make that move, and then once he made a mistake and slide, 63 slides right on back as the 54 has hotter tires. It's just how it was going to happen. But now, over the course of the rest of the run, I don't know whether the 63 will be able to try and make any moves on the 5 or any of these guys. I want to make sure we get this right. Are we sure we know how to pronounce the 5 car's last name? I want to make sure I get it right. Is it Rainier?
See, I'm thinking, is it Reiner or Rainier? Because it can be pronounced both ways. You have the now unfortunately recently passed actor and director Reiner, and then you've got
the Mountain
Rainier. So it's yeah, I'm going to go with Reiner. I believe that's the pronunciation I ran with last year. So I will at least run it with Bryce Reiner. Holding on to P3 at the moment in the number 5 car. See, that's why I was a little bit hesitant to call the battle, because I didn't want to make myself out to be a fool, which is saying something, because I usually do that with my own existence.
Oh, nah, dude. Just mispronouncing a name is part of the job. It happens. 5 car, but take a look right there. Rainier is up there in the wall a little bit. Lost a little ground. Now here comes Bryson Hicksonball to the inside to make the pass. Just like that up to 3rd. Little mistake for the 5 car. Opens the door for that 63, who I think was saving his tires, and it's now showing off. Now the other folks are slipping up, making mistakes. They're falling back as that 63 continues to move forward.
Yeah, Bryce Rainier holding on to fourth at the present moment, keeping it tucked down to the inside, but Hicksonball chewing up and spitting him out in that fight. We'll have to keep an eye on that number 5 car, who's really been impressive thus far this season. Seen some good pace out of that car. I think that trend will more or less continue as he's currently locked steady in a close battle with Alex Murray at the moment. As the battling is going on all throughout this field, here's a fight with Brandon Hastings and Jeremy Brown. This is a fight for 17th at the current moment. Keep an eye on Eric Wineland, though. He's going to look to try and get involved in that. The drafty car 2 car trying to get his nose into this fight. And speaking of, there he goes down the inside, all through 3 and 4. Gonna drift out a little bit there. I thought that was gonna end potentially in disaster, but Eric Wineland, who really ended 2025 off on a high note, looking to start 2026 on a high note too.
Yeah, I had the fortunate ability to be able to sit with him in a voice call throughout the entire season last year. I was racing alongside, we were technical non-alliance teammates. It was kind of just a fun little thing that we had together. Had fun racing with him and Mark Paget. However, Mark Paget is not racing this season. We miss you, buddy. Hopefully you come back. But right here, that 21 car Wineland, he's just at this point 100% focused. When he's in these situations, he doesn't talk much at all. He is 100% head to the grindstone, trying to move forward, just like that 54 just did. Alex Murray made a pass on Bryce Rainier. There we go. So you saw that there. Able to make the pass, but the 5 car still not done. He wants to try and make a move back to the inside.
Yeah, so not giving up in this fight.
Whoa!
But we are...
Sorry, the 2 car is almost spun Medeiros in the 20. That big pack battle we got in the back is kind of chaotic, but yeah, keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. Unfortunate there for Ryan Von Henschel, who's shown some real good pace at the start of this race. Hopefully he can dust himself off and get his bearings straight here. Let's take a look at it, in fact, Kirk. This is heading off through 3 and 4, which is 1 and 2, my apologies. Old 3 and 4, still reconfigured to the old configuration of this track.
Oh my
Let's take a look at it here, heading off into the turn. Oh, that's the problem. It's so wide heading off through there with the higher banking. It's really inviting to try and get a move done, and nearly ending in tears on several occasions with Medeiros.
If gap car, but there you go. Right now, live this pack, there are 3 wide all over the place in that little section with the 2 car to 20 and the 21. I haven't seen driving like this in a while. Hey, look at that. Medeiros making it a 3 wide dive to the bottom. Not going to work for him. Nope. Right. But yeah, it's just this group of cars just driving overly aggressive.
Yeah, see, they're seeing that stage checker come here soon. We're only about a lap and some change away from that. So getting into crunch time, and everybody knows that. That's why they're bringing up that wick of aggression and really causing that pot to get close to boiling over. We'll have to see if it does before we get the stage checker.
Yep, 83 of Adam Benefield went ahead and crossed that line. He has 1 more lap to go on the stage. He is going through turns 1 and 2 right now, heading onto the old front straightaway. He has 1 lap car right ahead and no pressure from behind. But looking as he comes through the final couple corners for the stage win, he's going to go through the final corner and he will win stage number 1 here from Phoenix.
Everybody else in tow coming across the line. Looks like Drew Prohl will be the last car to get stage points there. So we'll run through your top 10 at the end of the first 45 laps of this Valley of the Sun 200 here in the Friday Night Light Series. Adam Benefield, after starting from the pole for the 2nd time this season, going to grab the stage 1 win. Joseph McWhorter slotted in tow in that number 73 car, 2.2 seconds back. Then from there, another 1.1 seconds farther behind to find Bryson Hicksonball in 3rd. And then from there, the list continues on with Alex Murray, Bryce Rainier, Hunter Truell, Blake Kluwat, Edward Scherer Jr., Daniel Wiles, and Drew Prohl completing your top 10 at the end of this first stage here, Kirk. A stage that really had it all, from lap traffic shenanigans, really good side-by-side racing, and a couple of Code Brown moments sprinkled in throughout.
Yeah, but no real wrecks, though. I mean, I got to give these guys props. They made it a full 45 laps, which is better than most B Opens, A Opens, and anything you might see in the official series right now. These guys, they had upwards of 15, 16 cautions. Again, this race is early, but at the end of the first stage, I believe there's not a single car that has left the server. We still have all 40 cars on the racetrack, which is pretty dang good. As they're heading down pit road now to get their pit stops ready to go. Thank God this is not where we run the championship race ever again. Please never come back. But right now, they're going to come down and do those pit stops, and it's all about speed. Will the 83 get off pit road first? We're going to find out here shortly.
Keeping focused, Benefiel up off one side of the jacks, now going
Whoa.
to be up on the other. The two cars right inside of him at the current moment. He's car number 41, so he's right there. As look at that, side by side on pit exit with himself and Justin McWhorter. That may have been close, but I think that Benefiel still got the nose out.
Yeah, and I think, folks, remember whenever we said that Tyler Hunter did not make the race today? He qualified, but then at the end, he was going to make the race, but he decided to step out so that way a regular could run in the race, a 2-car. And because he did that, that's exactly why we have 2 drivers in that first stall. They only have 40 pit stalls here at Phoenix. So because of that, they had 41, because he qualified 41st, that means he had the 41st pit stall, which doesn't exist. So it loops back to the first pit stall. So Ryan Von Henschel and Adam Benefiel will be sharing, Adam Benefiel and Ryan Von Henschel will be sharing the same pit stall the entire race.
You know, I'm going to say this, and this is slightly mean. Just for my brain not to completely break, I'm hoping that one of them runs into some sort of difficulties. If those two are battling for the race win in some odd sort of like twisted set of circumstances. Now, granted, a couple of falling anvils would have to come down for that to take place, but if those two start battling for the lead, that would be an absolute, a bit of mind forkery for us to try and deal with every single pit cycle.
I gotta tell you right now, man, we're gonna get back underway, and I'm sure that might not be a problem. We'll find out how it goes. This restart's gonna be important. It's all about trying to get the lead and getting that clean air. Clean air helps a lot here at Phoenix. Through that restart zone, we are back underway. There goes Adam Benefiel diving onto it. Look at them spread out as they head through this section. They like to go all over the place here into turn number 1.
Jackson, oh baby, I thought it was going to end in tears there with McWhorter and Rainier as they're side by side off through the turn. And now look at the pack right behind them, really getting stacked up, some drivers scraping the fence further behind, and here comes Alex Murray looking to fight back on the outside of the 5.
Yeah, this battle is only going to be up front for a while. Now they got in single file for a short time. They're going to be picking different lanes. They got the freshest tires. This is whenever they push hard to try and get every spot you could possibly get. This is, again, the start of the second stage. They're racing the lap 90. Some cars are hitting the wall off the corner. I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like that... oh, right there. We had a car go way up out of the groove right there. It looks like it is the 88 of Daniel Wiles got shoved up and out of the groove. Dropped back a couple spots. Now he's in a precarious position. Looking through the rest of the field, this is the most dangerous time of the race when on these restarts. Your race can both start and end in the same restart. So, oh, look out. Door banging right there. Seth Foudy gets into the wall back there.
Yeah, these drivers have been a bit more skittish on this restart. Now, maybe it's just the stress. Maybe it's just these track conditions starting to deteriorate as the sun dips below the horizon. We'll just have to find out. But one thing is certain. These drivers have been getting a bit more flirtatious and familiar with the outside walls here and the boundaries at Phoenix. Feel like these racers are maybe butting off a bit more than they can chew potentially here, Kirk. So feel like we're running on the ragged edge right now. These cars still really squirrely. These drivers really starting to duke it out hard, and the level of aggression really being the highest that we've seen thus far here tonight.
Nah, you know, I gotta tell you right now, some cars might be chilling, to be honest with you. It might be, you never know. But it looks pretty dang busy, I tell you that. From the driver's seat, it depends on where you are. But from what I can tell you right now, looking at this battle right here on your screen, the 30 car and the 56, I guarantee you they're actually pushing hard, these two. Trying to make it clean, though. No Woods on the top. William Owens on the inside. These guys have been racing each other for the last 2 years, at least that I'm aware of. Looks like Owens is going to prevail this time as Seth Fowley pulls in behind Noah Woods. But again, through this field, everybody up front is single file all the way back until you get to about, looks like that is this battle right here for 14. Noah Woods, Seth Fowley, these guys are the closest battle that we have on track right now, towards the front. There's not that many side-by-side battles until you get to about maybe, looks like 25th. That's where the real battle is right now. But up front, these guys are still all over the dang place.
Yeah, fanning out all over the place. As you said, Kirk, there can be some drivers that are feeling quite at ease and quite happy about the situation that they find themselves in. Certainly Adam Benefield and a decent chunk of your top 5 feeling quite pleased. Maybe Murray and Hunter Trull are a bit nervous just because they're kind of, it's actually really Bryce Rainier and Alex Murray, pardon me. Trull probably feeling a bit nervous as Edward Scherer Jr. is all over him like the plastic on grandma's couch. But currently, I think the main sort of disparity that we've got is drivers that are feeling comfortable, as Edward Scherer Jr. briefly gets abducted by a UFO. We've got some racers who are quite comfortable, others who are very nervous. And I mentioned right towards the end of stage 1 how it was the difference between drivers who are feeling quick and drivers who are feeling slow. That was maybe going to be a source of contention. Now we've kind of got a similar case of that, just with driver comfort instead of driver speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody really feels 100% comfortable behind the wheel right now, except for maybe Benefield. I think him and McWhorter are pretty dang close, but I always say white knuckle at this point. I gotta say though, that 94, if we could get a camera on him for a quick second, that 94 making the move right now on the 71. New paint scheme for him this week. Trying to drive that Monster Energy car right there. However, it's not a Monster Energy car. Take a look closer at that hood. It's a Precision Speed Solutions car. So it's kind of cool how I've noticed that they did that quite often. They would make replicas of popular cars using like the logos of the popular group. But if we zoom in on it as close as we can, I don't know if we have a way to do that, but you'll see like it's formatted like the real cars, just with different words. Similar to how you might see a throwback car, Darlington. Whenever they throw back to a sponsor that's not willing to participate, they use their own sponsor in the style of the logo of the sponsor that they want to use.
Yeah, I'm going to say something maybe controversial talking about the NASCAR throwback weekend at Darlington.
Do it.
I'm going to miss it. I'm really going to miss that. I think it's such a shame that they have now decided to kind of axe that. I would love to see that kind of breakaway, not just with the NASCAR side. I think I would love to see, especially if IndyCar did that. I mean, they're racing at Phoenix this weekend along with the NASCAR World, so that'd be pretty cool if they could try and do that. I mean, this track kind of started off as an IndyCar venue, so that'd be pretty darn cool to see. But you're right on the nose there, Kirk, kind of talking about that monster-inspired precision scheme.
Doesn't it look a little darker than it did a few minutes ago?
It does.
Where'd the sun go? Oh, there it is. It's going down. That's what it is. A side-by-side Trull now on the outside. To the inside, Eric Shearer Jr. trying to make that bottom line work. Doesn't look like it's going to happen this lap. But this battle will probably continue on for a while. And but these two are probably going to be the... we're going to see who's saving tire and who's not here shortly and who's using it up. Depending on who wins, very simply. As it looks like we actually have a car that's a little slow on the racetrack. The 75 of Charles Eaton, slow in turns 1 and 2. No contact from anything, but he's just off the pace. He went on the brakes and just falling back. Not sure what's going on with that 75. Mechanical or dropping back quite a bit, all the way back to the back. I don't think he hit anything. He was running just fine right here with the 92. I don't see anything. I'm a little confused why he was dropping back so quickly.
Yeah, I wonder if it was maybe some sort of... Okay, yeah. No, it wasn't wall contact, but a code brown moment for sure. Won't need a change of equipment, but probably will need a change of pants.
Yeah, maybe that's why he went to the back. No, I think he was just knew his car was loose. He didn't want to take anybody out, so he was willing to go to the back to save everybody else if his car snaps loose like that again. He's just trying to wait to the next pit stop to make adjustments, probably to get that car to rotate a little less, so that way he can make the corners. But man, That's 77 a little further forward. This battle that you see on your screen right now is, for position, of course. This is for second and third and fourth, you see on your screen. But whether or not these guys are going to be able to make the pass, these guys are elite. These guys are pretty dang good on these on these main oval racetracks. But when you go to the cars that are a little further back, it's a little less neat, a little less tidy. I always like to say that. So when you see these cars diving into the corner, they're sliding like the 77 just got really loose right now. Battle right there between the 2-car of Ryan Von Henschel, the 30 of William Owens. These guys diving in there. They don't care what happens to the tires. They're just trying to race each other. And this is the way it ought to be, in my opinion. But then again, you also got the perfectionists that are able to run out there and run the fastest laps possible every single time. But these guys are just having a good time back here. No doubt about it.
And I will say, unrelated to literally anything that has been discussed so far, the sun is dipping down. You said it a few moments ago, Kirk. I don't think that's a matter of anything major. We are in the desert, so I think the skinwalkers are stealing the sun.
Did you just reference a skinwalker?
We are in Phoenix. What else goes on in Phoenix? It's skinwalkers walking around cacti.
Okay, I've heard it. I've heard it all today. Gotta tell you that. Falling anvils on a something. On a golly, Rob. I love it. I love it so much. So much fun. But oh my gosh, back here, if we can look at this, there's a little pack right here with a 2-car again. We had a camera on it a little bit ago, but the pack behind the 2-car, there's like this group of 6 cars that are just driving the wheels off the dang thing, throwing it in there. The 77, especially the back end of this pack, I've seen him get loose off the corner like 4 or 5 times to the point where I thought that they were going to spin out. I don't understand. Up front, these guys are really comfortable. What is that? What is that, Howie? What, Ron, do you know what that is?
Yeah, I looked it up. Howie in the production truck was saying that it's the giant sandworms in Doom. Yeah, there you go. I looked up Shai Halal. I see it's an American metalcore band formed in Pompano Beach, Florida. I didn't know that that metalcore band could be formed in Pompano Beach, which actually has seen some NASCAR history before, but I'm pretty sure that track is just the home of that town is just the home of a couple retirement communities. More you know.
Yeah, more you know. Anybody got
as long
that
as I can
star?
remember, I've had memories.
I got to get that star sound effect one of these days. The more you know. You know what I'm talking about?
Ding. Yeah.
I just might record that part of the broadcast and put it on there. Man, you seeing this right now? That 81 just drove by these guys so fast. I think 81 has a quick set underneath them, quick car, driving fast, no doubt about it, quick driver. But this little section behind Devin Medeiros, William Owens, they're kind of stuck. It seems like they're driving really dang hard to try and get everything they can, but having struggles doing it.
Yeah, it's like juicing a lemon with a rolling pin, putting in a lot of effort, not getting a lot out of it. It's kind of what you have to do, though, here at Phoenix. If you let off the gas, if you start to take it a bit easy, that's going to be when the trucks start to kick you down more and more and more and more, get a couple of blows to the shins, and eventually you won't be able to walk away. These competitors just trying to stay with it as we get closer to the end of this second stage. Stage break coming at the end of lap 90. These drivers starting to skid around a little bit more. Just saw Bryson Ixenball nearly end up in the fence as he headed his way off through turn number 1. That car is starting to skid around a little bit more than we saw earlier. Ixenball, who had a dominant run throughout last season here in this series, he's been quick already. He's been able to grab a pole, but haven't seen him really been dominant in this series since just about summer last year.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on with Bryson right now. He had a chance. He should have won the championship last year. Bryson, no doubt about it. He had better performance than anybody all year, but just didn't quite get the win of the race at the end of the race. McWhorter took it away from him, and McWhorter ended up being the champion. However, with the modern format that we got now, that no longer is the case. I'm surprised that 63 is as far back as he is. But I can tell you right now, I still think that it's interesting right now to see that. running 7th right now, just now past Edward Shearer Jr. for 6th. But yeah, it's not usual to see him this far back. I normally used to see him in the first 2 spots in the field. Difficult to pass, difficult to drive against, and I know I had to race him for a year. It was impossible to. I didn't even see him some weeks. He's so far in front.
Yeah, checked off in the distance, was dominant in many of the races that he was able to grab the win at. Sometimes, though, was just there at the right time, peaking at the right time. You know, you can lead every single lap in a race apart from that last one. If you don't lead that last one, you're not going to visit victory lane. So more often than not throughout last season, we saw Hicksonball just be able to capitalize on the opportunities when everybody else got caught up in the smoke and the chaos a little bit farther behind. So we'll have to keep an eye on whether or not that may happen throughout this season, but Hicksonball is certainly one that we still have eyes on in that number 63 car. But his main rival is arch nemesis, shall we say, here in the Friday Night Lights Series world. Adam Benefiel still dominant here in this race. Now, Benefiel had some good standout performances throughout last season, and the wins that he got were at a wide variety of racetracks. Very different technical skills needed to get the wins in the races that he was able to grab victories at. So Benefiel really stood out in that regard.
I thought they were teammates. I mean, I know that they get mad at each other quite often. You hear it in the post-race interviews. Whenever Bryson makes a mistake, Benefiel will make sure everybody knows about it. But at least that's my understanding from my experience in talking to these guys. But again, though, it's side-by-side battle we're looking at right now on screen, just to let you know who these folks are. That's 77 Seth Foudy on the 30 car on the outside, William Owens. Looks like Owens is trying to hang on to it, but Seth is just really diving it in there, and I think he might be able to make the pass if he continues it, keeping it up. Leader has caught the back end of the field. Oh, Seth, hang on to it. Door banging with the 30, almost lost the car. But again, what I was saying is that the leader was catching the back end of the field, passing some lap cars. And I do want to reiterate, again, wrecks can happen at any time. They just do. However, here, we have not had one for incident at all in the first 81 laps. Take that, be open.
Yeah, if you get too lost up thinking about the officials, you just think of iRating just side-by-side racing. Dustin Hall, Ryan Von Henschel is a battle for 12th at the moment. It nearly ends in disaster. Von Henschel, fantastic race for him. Started all the way at the tail end of the field. Now running in lucky spot P13, looking to bounce out of that unlucky position and jump around the outside of Dustin Hall, who's defending for everything that he's got. A little bit of contact all through 3 and 4. A bit of a sideways wiggle, and that's going to allow Von Henschel to jump his way up into P12. That's the way to fight for it here at Phoenix.
Not bad. Not bad. Like seeing that. That was cool. Yeah, he's trying to hang on to the position, though. Looking through the rest. Man, they're all just single file, spread out quite a bit. You can see that throughout the field. There's some pockets of hard driving I'm looking at. But I'm scrolling through the entire field right now on my side of things, and I'm seeing very minimal amounts of hardcore diving in there, trying to boogie it in on into one. Driving yet. I think folks are just trying to keep their tires underneath them and prepare for the end of the stage. If you're not in the top 10, you shouldn't worry about it unless you're nearing getting lapped. I'm looking at the battle for 10th right now, which is going to be the important spot. Right now, driver the 08, Drew Prohl, in that 808 car. Right now has it, but Daniel Wiles wants it. This is for the final playoff point. Not playoff point, what am I talking about? Stage point. There we go. No more playoffs. Get those out of my head. Side by side for position now for 10th to the inside.
Yeah, so duking it out here. These were two drivers that were on the good side of the top 10 at the end of the first stage. So looking to just get a small little point. 1 point may not seem like a lot, but come time for the end of this regular season, that can make a world of difference. Keeping an eye on these competitors as they're still looking to battle. Farther up the road, though, still have the battle here with Hicksonball and Edward Shearer Jr. right in front of him. Now, Shearer Jr. and Hicksonball have been duking it out for quite some time. Of course, we've talked about the pedigree that Hickson Ball has had throughout this season. But Edward Scherer Jr. had a good run last season too. Joined the season a little bit late, if my memory serves me correctly. Was able to grab his one and only win on the streets of Chicago, but putting in a good run in that number 94 machine. We'll have to see if he can maybe make up some moves, potentially smell blow on the water with the old black looking number 71 car of Hunter Truex holding on to P5 at the moment. This is a very good drive from Truex in fifth.
Yeah, it's a better drive than last week. Last week he got taken out early on. Evan Mesnard went into the corner, lost some sort of mechanical failure, turned heavy into the left side wall, came up and crashed him last week at Circuit of the Americas. Never had a good chance to actually show what he had there. But this week, absolutely. Great recovery, up to fifth already, moving forward. And I think it's good to see right there. I mean, Hunter Truex having a great day. Hopefully he's able to continue that. But we're coming down to about 2 laps to go on the stage this time by. So when they cross the stripe, we're going to go ahead and take a look back up at the front. Again, this is a kind of a phenomenal drive. If we can take a look at the 83 car for a quick moment. Adam Benefield has just absolutely opened up a huge gap to everybody else. That 83 car has been glued to his line, has not slipped up once. He crosses the stripe, 1 lap to go in stage 2 of the Valley of the Sun 200. Adam Benefield, again, leading this thing by almost 4 seconds over Joseph McWhorter. Just driving away. He has a 10-time better car than everybody else, and he's driving the thing better than anybody else. He really likes Phoenix. I remember hearing him say that in the past. And as he comes to the final couple corners, Adam Benefield will cross the line and he will win a doubleheader, stage 2 and stage 1 winner, Adam Benefield.
Yeah, fantastic and commanding drive early on here as we finally get that stage yellow at the top 10 coming across the stripe. Here is your top 10 at the end of stage number 2. Adam Benefield gets it over Joseph McWhorter in P2. Bryce Rainier right behind in third. Alex Murray is classed in fourth. Hunter Truex walks away with P5. Edward Scherer Jr. in sixth. Bryson Hicksonball in seventh. Blake Kluwat in eighth with Jacob Simpson and Daniel Wiles completing your top 10. Just a quick little point there, Kirk, talking about the performances that we've seen from Adam Benefield. I would captain to guess that this is probably the most amount of laps that he has led thus far this season. It has been just commanding stuff for him.
Yeah, this is one of his best tracks, no doubt about it. Adam Benefield, he's just pretty dang good here. Led every lap so far that I'm aware of. But yeah, no, here they come down pit road right now. This is going to be an important stop because you want to be able to get the best track position you can. This is where you can make up the most spots and where you can lose them. Here we go on pit entry. No mistakes, no speeding. Let's see how they go. Remember, that 2 car is going to end up joining that 83 in the same pit stall. So we're going to keep an eye on that 83 as he heads through that left-hand bend on the far outside of the pit road. Remember, they have rules here where you cannot enter your pit stall more than 3 pit stops. More than 3 pit stalls away from where you came in. So remember that. As you see the 83 stop, and here comes the 2. Just pulling it into the same exact position. It's very unnatural, but it is what it is. Here we go. Let's see. More cars coming out of the pit road now. Benefield is going to win it off. Followed by McWhorter and Rainier and the rest. Now, before we do anything else, I'd like to take a look at the 08 car just for a quick moment. Can we zoom in on the hood of that 08 car just for a quick moment if we can? If we can get a look at that hood. That's all I need to see. Yeah, let's just zoom in on it if we can. Can we zoom in on it? Yeah. So, do you see what that is? I think that's a lizard, isn't it?
Lizard.
Oh no. I didn't realize it was there for that long, but yep.
Lizard.
Oh my god. Ron, it's staring at you.
It is staring intently into my soul. Yeah, I was going to make a joke, but I thought better of it.
Oh, nah,
Should
nah.
I?
No, you absolutely do it.
See, anybody tuning into this broadcast here on Maconi Entertainment who just so happens to be on LSD, they're going to look at that and think it's the face of God.
That's pretty good. Good one, Ron. Ron, don't hesitate to make jokes like that. Please. This is fun. How are we going green already? Holy crap. We got the pace car diving in. We're about to get back going underway. They have no time to chill at Phoenix. They just making these cautions really quick. No time for commercials, no time for cautions, no time to talk to anybody. We're just going back green. Oh, they are adding a lap? Why?
Okay.
I thought we were good to go. Oh,
So I think,
okay.
Yeah, we're hearing that some of the racers farther in the back were a little bit misaligned and a little bit out of order. Yeah, I will say, off the back of that joke that I made one lap ago, I will provide an actual serious color point here. Talking about Adam Benefiel as we enter this final stage here, Kirk, I said that he had 5 wins throughout the 2025 campaign. Really good driver, and of course this track being one of his best. Looking at last season and the tracks that he won at, I said there was a wide variety of them, and it still was. Martinsville, Darlington, Dover, Iowa, and the Charlotte Roval. But you notice a trend there? That is 3 of the 5 tracks being ones that are either exactly a mile long or a little bit shorter than that. So maybe that's the reason why Benefiel has been able to mesh with this place so well.
You know, actually, I would like to clarify something. His average finishes on Phoenix Raceway for the entirety of the FLCC on my... Oh, we're about to go back green. Let's just focus on that. We're going back green. Here we go. Back underway. I didn't have my screen up. I heard the engine starting to go higher, and I'm like, whoa, there we go. We're going. 3-4 wide already in the middle of the turns. 1 and 2. 21 making a big move. 3 wide on the bottom to gain 2 spots just like that. Back there in about 15th. Further back, they are still 2 wide throughout the field as it's now getting real dark out here. Lights are already on, and we're starting to get that night race feel.
Yeah, we're venturing off into the sunset, venturing off under the lights at this point. That sunset has already come and gone. These racers still seeing a lot of daylight left here in this race, and they're trying to go after it while there's still some sun left to go before that checkered flag. Benefiel driving off into the sunset, but farther behind, it is a huge stack of pretty much bumper-to-bumper traffic. Look at that number 22 car of Jacob Simpson. This has been a fantastic start to the season for him. He's running in 7th, looking for P6 on Truel.
Side by side, that 22 has been making a march to the front. No doubt about it. Started 27th today, all the way up to 7th. Trying to get 6th away from Hunter Truel. Not able to do it there. He has a little bit of front end damage from a little bit of contact earlier, but he's still keeping the car going straight to the inside. He tries sliding up. Not quite enough. Now here comes Daniel Wiles trying to take advantage of that mistake. The 88 car on the top side trying to dive it in on the outside, carry the momentum. Not going to work this time. 22 still trying to make that move on the 71. But up front, yeah, this little group here, they are driving pretty hard, and that's what's separating them from the top group of guys right now. Everybody else in front of them is single file as these guys now try to single file out so they can catch back up to the top group. Wait, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded like I sat on a cold toilet seat, but these racers really starting to squabble up, and I'm feeling a little bit of nervous about it. I'll be honest here, Kirk. It's getting tense between these competitors. We saw Kluat, Prohl, and Von Henschel briefly fan out to almost 3 wide, racing off into 3 and 4. Still side by side with Prohl and Von Henschel as Blake Kluat looking to drive off into the sunset. Now comfortable margin between those racers. They're finally single filing out a lap after they nearly ended in disaster. 3 wide racing off into 3 and 4. As we saw a bit earlier on, Kirk, it's so inviting to go for a move there, but sometimes it can end in tears.
You know, I've been to a lot of races at Phoenix. I've seen a lot of races at Phoenix. And I got to tell you right now, this is one of the best drives I've seen in a while. Like, you don't get to see this, but I'm just scared for it if, like, a light switch flips and all this changes. As it looks like, look at that 88 trying to make a move for 6th place. Daniel Wiles in that 88 car trying to make the bottom line work. I think he's going to be able to do it. I think he might be able to. Is he going to clear? He's close. Yes, he does clear. Under remove for the 71, trying to make a move back to the bottom. But that was a heck of a drive for that 88 car. He's going to hang on to the spot. Oh, by the way, guys, do you remember a certain someone that was up front a few laps ago, but no longer is there? Driver the number 73, Joseph McCorder. What happened to him? It looks like that he actually had a penalty in the pits at some point, or something happened where he had to stay in the pit lane a lot longer. He dropped back all the way to 31st on the initial restart. But now, he is running right now as he crosses the stripe. We're going to find out the exact position, I believe 26th, maybe 25th. Yes, 25th, going for 24th. He's trying to make his march back to the front. Keep an eye on that 73 as he tries to go from the back to the front. We know he's a fast car. Now, is he going to be able to catch the leader? We'll have to see how much he's able to gain and if he's able to hang on to his car enough to be able to catch him, but it's going to be a tall task. Oh, they're wrecking off the turn number 4, the 07. And he's flipping on the front stretch, barrel rolling on the front straightaway. The 20 car is 07 upside down right now. And he's, oh my gosh, this is the worst wreck I've seen at Phoenix ever, and we didn't get it live. Oh, no.
Oh, golly. The 46 upside down got T-boned driver's side. It's at times like these where I'm happy we're covering sim racing, because if that was real life, we'd probably have to read out a eulogy. The lizard car involved in that. There goes the 20. Center punch into the side of the 46 and tumbles end over end, side over side, lands on his hood, lawn darts his way into the grass, lawn darts his way into the infield, pardon me.
Wreck of the year right there, man. That is not even, it's not even like it was bad at first, but then it just got funny. Like the iRacing physics took it. Like looking at it first, it was like, okay, he's sideways, gets hit right in the door. That alone could kill you. But then he starts flipping like this, still kind of wild. But then this is just, what? Is the car made of springs? Is he on a trampoline? No, he's on asphalt. iRacing, fix your stuff. It's terrible. Holy cow, that's not very realistic looking at all. Oh my goodness, just, the racing's good, but the crashes, man, they have so much to improve on.
See, I'm not going to badmouth iRacing, because I remember one time on one of the special event broadcasts, I made a joke about saying that the iRacing weather forecasts were as accurate as they are in real life, which is why there was rain that popped up on track when there wasn't any expected. And then I made that joke and my iRacing didn't work correct for about a week and a half afterwards. So I'm not going to make any jokes. Otherwise, I'm going to, I mean, if I made a joke about Windows, I would just have a random computer blue screen.
Blue screen. Well, I got to tell you right now, this is the first time that we had a wreck all day, and it is probably the most severe wreck we've had all season. Look at the onboard of this.
Golly.
It looks bad, man. It is bad.
I got whiplash just looking at that. That is unbelievable. Oh, my goodness.
It makes me glad it's a sim again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
I mean, like off the back of racing at Daytona and Atlanta, 2 plate races, and then racing at Circuit of the Americas with those tire bundles of doom around there, that's when we have the flip. Of all the tracks, Phoenix would be the one where somebody flipped 7 times.
You know, I thought that Jeremy B. Brown is driving the 07. It might be an out-of-date paint scheme. He's supposed to be in the 07 car, and I'm looking at it, and I just refreshed mine. I believe it is the 07 of Jeremy B. Brown that was the one flipping. We got 1 to go left on the pace car, but again, I want to reiterate, folks, this is not something you see every day. You don't get to see a car flip like that. That will definitely be in the highlight reel. That might be the thumbnail. No doubt about it. As we have the pace car diving into the pit road, we're going to try this again. Alex Murray. Remember, he won't be allowed to race tomorrow in the FLCC. He's here trying to get his 1 race in for the week. And I think he's going to be trying to hang on to it as he's got his teammate right on his 6 as well. Both precision cars on the outside. Team Conti Sim Performance on the inside. Through that restart zone, we're back underway from Phoenix.
at these races, already getting a little bit skittish. Look at that 54 of Murray with a huge sideways wiggle out of 2.
Yeah, a lot of cars are getting loose right now. They got older tires than they'd have on any other restart. Nobody came down pit road that last time, I don't believe. And these guys stayed out on slightly older tires, so it's a little different on a restart field than you'd normally have with fresh Goodyear sticker tires. So that's important to remember. As they're 3 wide getting squeezed, look out up there. They hang on to it. Nobody gets wrecked there. That was the 21 of oh my gosh, hang on a second. Let me make sure I get there. Eric Wineland, Von Henschel was there, and also the 71 of Hunter Truell. All in a little 3 wide hole right there, and it looks like it might happen again if these guys aren't careful. Just like that, 3 wide again, these 3.
Yeah,
this
like
time they stayed 3 wide.
And itchy and scratchy, everybody duking it out here in this fight. I don't have a good feeling about this. One driver's going to have to back out of it, and Eric Wineland smartly saying, "Nope, I'm all right. I'm no thanks." Still looking at the battling though, as Wineland going to fight back once more. This time on Hunter Truell, Von Henschel was able to get that spot. Now, throughout the start of this season, Kirk, I think it's fair to say that number 2 car of Ryan Von Henschel has shown a lot of aggression to get some moves done. Now, it's worked out well for him in some occasions. In others, though, it has ended in tears. Right now, though, looking to be a good drive from him after starting all the way at the tail end. He's made his way up into the top 10, currently running in 7th.
Yeah, you know, I got to tell you, it's a good thing you bring up his aggression. In the preseason, I ran a couple races with him just for fun. He wrecked me in 2 of them. So, I mean, yeah, he's aggressive. And I tell you what, it was not anything I did wrong. I'm looking at it right now, and he's having a great day and a great recovery compared to what we saw in preseason. But he is really aggressive. He reminds me of a Friday Night Light version of Tommy Gossett in a way.
You know, we actually saw Tommy Gossett race. I believe it was just a one-off last season where he did score a victory. So, a really quick racer, bringing the thunder and aggression. I mean, we can't really judge from our perspective here in the broadcast booth because it's those drivers who always bring the thunder and always bring the excitement that are going to be the ones that we like keeping tabs on. But Von Henschel certainly not out here trying to make some friends. He's trying to collect some trophies. Go trophy hunting throughout this season, and hey, you can't necessarily fault the guy for wanting to go on a little hunting trip. So of the side-by-side battling throughout the field here, though, Kirk, these racers have decided to take it easy a little bit farther up the road, but we still have those bouts of side-by-side racing sprinkled throughout the field.
Napier on the top side, Ammon on the bottom. You're seeing the battle right now for 12th. Looks like Napier's trying to make the outside line carry speed, and it looks like it will work out for him. As we got a car that I think is trying to make his march up to the front, might as well check in on him to see how he's doing on that march. And I thought he was going to be doing even more, to be honest with you. But guess who's up to 10th place? Take a look at that 73 car. Joseph McCorder started 31st on that last restart. He is up to 10th. Because of that, he's marching forward. He's got speed, and he's probably going to get there to the top 5 at the minimum. But up front, the top 5 again, just to give you a quick update on that. Adam Benefield leading over Bryce Reinier. So let me get that right. Reinier. There we go. By about a second. And then you got Alex Murray about a second and a half back. Edward Shearer Jr. close behind Alex, and then Daniel Wiles sitting in 5th right there. I think that's your top 5. That's all within 2 seconds of each other. But it's still going to be a while before we see anything change up front. I think Benefield's got this one in the bag. He's just got to run away with it. But remember, we got pit stops we got to worry about too when these guys choose to come down pit road.
Yeah, once those pit stops get brought into the fold, then you got to wonder how much more sort of resets these competitors will have to worry about throughout the rest of this race. This pit stop's going to be huge. They've been huge throughout this race. And one of the drivers who had a huge setback as a result of the last round of pit stops is Joseph McCorder. He had an EOL right at that last yellow. He's now jumped his way back up into 9th. This has been a rousing recovery effort for your fall race winner here at Phoenix here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Your reigning champion as well was able to get it done as a result of the playoffs with that win. Holding on to 9th, though, proves that the pace that he showed here last fall was by no means a fluke. McWhorter looking to be fast. Let's see, though, if he just has any more pace to maybe rattle the cage of the likes of Bennett Field, Rainier, and Alex Murray, currently holding on to your top 3 spots.
You know, one thing I really enjoy looking at when they go into the corners is seeing the lift points. And the way you can tell is by looking at the side of the car. You start seeing that little light that shows up, that little backfire from the exhaust right there. You see when that starts flashing on the side of the cars. That's when you know they're off the gas. And one of my favorite things to do is to follow behind a car. And as somebody who I know is faster than me, maybe like Benefield, if I had a chance to be behind Benefield, I look for when their light comes on. When I see that light comes on, I look at where he is on the track and the nearest point that I could use as a reference marker. And I try and copy what he does. Whether that is hitting the brakes at the right point, like here at 3, 2, 1, I think he hit it just about a half a second before the 1 cone on the fence. You'll see those cones up there on the fence. Take a look at the car in front. We're riding on board out the right front tire. Looking at 5th place, the 88 of Wiles. He lifts right at, that was a little interesting transition there. We'll see if we can get a better angle of Wiles here when he lifts going into this next corner. Take a look at the 88. He hits the wall a little bit there, but going into turn number 3 and 4, he lifts right at around that 1. Oh, a little loose right here for the onboard. Who's that? That's Blake Kluot getting real loose. Now the 2 car went down to the bottom.
Yeah, a little wiggle heading out of 3, maybe gonna bite him. Kluot. So I just start to sing there. You can tell that was close quarter stuff because I tried to do an Elvis impression. Von Henschel close to making contact there as they headed their way off through the turn. Blake Kluot still holding on to P4 at the moment. Man, that was the only bit of good singing I've had in 21 years. Stay tuned for the next time it happens when I'm 42.
Okay. Aw, everybody's sad about that. No, they want you to keep doing it, man. That's it. Ah, don't worry about it. Gotta tell you, though, Ron, looking at this, do you know any idea when the guys are going to come down pit road at all?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, you got me excited for about 10 seconds, and then you hit me with a knot. Yes. And it hit me in the face like a knife. It's like, oh, absolutely, you can have $1 million. Not. Like, I don't like that. I thought we knew. Now we got to find out. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a private message over here to one of the spotters for one of the cars on the racetracks. And I'll see if we can't figure out how much gas they got left. And we'll go from there.
See, this right here, folks, is called investigative journalism, and that's what we have to do here on these broadcasts on Maconi Entertainment. If you enjoy investigative journalism like this, have to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss out on any of the racing action. That was cheap. Von Henschel and Kluot still involved in their own little scrap here, but they aren't really out of the woods just yet. They don't have themselves to keep themselves entertained. They've got the likes of Daniel Wiles, Edward Scherer Jr., Alex Murray farther up the road. They've also got Joseph McWhorter, who's looking to stick his nose into the fight. Was able to get past these two not too long ago of Eric Weiland and Hunter Truel, who are still squabbling up. Got Brendan Hastings and Kyle Hammond right in tow, too.
Oh.
So this 4-car battle for some of the final spots inside the top 10 looking to get spicy.
Yeah, Truel right here. By the way, Truel and the 21 do not like each other at all. They actually got in a big fight last season. That 21 and the 71. They do not like each other. So always keep in mind when they're next to each other on the track. You never know what's going to happen. I always keep an eye on it because they seem to be a magnet. They have very similar speeds, but when they are around, calamity tends to happen. As we go back forward, take a look right here. That 54 is dropping back, running a slightly different line. I think that we might see that 94 make a pass on him here shortly. This is, again, for the 3rd place spot. I think that's going to be changing here shortly. Still trying to see if we can't get that information. Ron, why don't you tell us what it's like to be in the position up front. Like, that 94 is in right now. Do you think he has any shot of catching Benefield?
Oh, well, he does have the benefit of getting a little bit more clean air on his nose and on his wings. That's going to help him out a lot here. So if he can break through and finally have the opportunity just to stretch out his legs, that'll work out fantastically for him. That's one more thing as well. You got to talk about the aerodynamic grip, obviously, but having the comfort and the freedom to just go out there and do whatever the heck you want behind the wheel, that is a good thing for these racers to feel. It's a good feeling to have, just no stress, to be able to say, you know what, screw it, I can do what I want to do. I don't have to try and worry about somebody on the outside of me, somebody on the inside of me, somebody right behind me, on my bumper, in the case of the 88, right on the tail end of the two as they headed their way out of turn number 3 and 4. Still keeping our eyes on these drivers squabbling, the 94 and the 54 side by side. Got Blake Kluot in the 14 right in tow. Lots of 4s in this battle, but before I talk about that anymore, we've been able to take not 5, we've been able to take 4 as Kirk is back here in the booth.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, we got some news for you. Looks like Kluot trying to make a move down to the bottom of that 94. Looks like he's going to be diving it in there. I think that 14 has enough speed to make that pass work. And it looks like no, not quite. I did find out more information on gas about you can expect to see cars coming down in about 30 to 40 laps from now. So that is going to be the range that when we could expect to start seeing cars go down pit road. It'll take a lot of saving for some folks to be able to make it. And a driver who I think is saving right now, trying to make it, I'm looking at this list on this leaderboard, and there's one name that is notably missing from this list. And I think it's because he's saving gas. Take a look at the driver, the number 63, Bryson Hicksonball. He is running 34th right now, way in the back of the pack. We know he's faster than that. He is intentionally trying to save enough gas to make it go as far as humanly possible. You see him shutting off the car. I don't know if this strategy is going to pay out, but with the lack of cautions and crashes, not saying it won't. I mean, he's in a great... If we have a caution, that ruins his plan. Ruins it. Destroys it. But it sounds like everyone's aware of this too, because I spoke with a couple drivers and they said that he's going to have to save a lot of fuel to be able to make this work. As Charles Eaton is on pit road now. Remember, he was running in the back part of the field earlier, had to drop back, had a loose handling race car. Looks like he needed to come down to make some more adjustments. But again, up here, the battle is for 4th as Alex Murray is under fire from Kluot. And I think, Ron, we can expect again to see those cars come down pit road anywhere within the next 30 to 38 laps from now, which will be with about 35, 40 to go.
Yeah, so still some time for these racers to squabble and duke it out. Gotta wonder on the other side of the strategy game, how's the fuel going to work here is one question. How are the tires working out for these racers is another. The sun is pretty much entirely set right now. The lights are beaming down on this track. So I'm sure the conditions aren't, stellar, considering this track is a bit of a tire cheese grater, but the temperatures are at least on these drivers' side. So maybe that could be a slight bit of respite, slight sense of reprieve as these racers still throwing bare knuckle fists at one another. Kluot and Murray nearly tangling.
Well, we got a driver that was just involved in an accident that I'd like to bring in here. We'll see if we can't bring him in. Jeremy B. Brown, this is Kirk Mills in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Man, doing okay, Jeremy. It's good to hear from you. I'm sorry to see you out of the race so early. Tell me, what was it like being in that car as it flipped wildly down the front straightaway?
I'm gonna tell you what, I was scared to death. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. I thought I was going to meet Jesus, but we made it over there all right. And now I get to sit in the motor coach a lot and drink all these boys' beer while they're out there racing. So when they come back, they ain't got nothing to do.
All right, 10-4, Jeremy. It's good to hear from you. I'm sorry to hear you got wrecked there. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And anybody you want to shout out before I let you go?
Oh yeah, all the guys at Elite Motorsports, they do a great job preparing the car and Elite Designs on making it look nice. I'm not really sure why it's showing me in the 46. I looked everywhere.
I got the 07 on my end, so it's just a trading pants error. Don't worry about it.
Well, I was getting ready to throw Howie under the bus because I was gonna say if anybody could have messed it up, it could have been Howie. But no, I'm just kidding, Howie. I love you, buddy.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming.
All right, y'all have a good night, man.
You do the same. Thanks for talking with us. Man, our producer getting thrown under the bus there by Jeremy. How dare he?
Hey, that's how it usually goes for producers. I say this as one.
Oh, you know, there's a whole movie dedicated to those people. Oh, 54 had a problem. He's up out of the groove. He lost a lot of spots. What happened to Alex Murray?
Yeah, the 54s really start to struggle over the past couple of moments. We saw him running farther up the road, but consistently has started to drop back. I think may have taken a bit too much out of those tires in the early portion of this stage, and is really starting to feel the burn. That, or he could potentially be doing a little bit of fuel saving. I think the fuel saving will be done in a bit more different of a way in which he won't be losing time through the turns as consistently as he is. That just looks like the product of an ill-handling race car. And it's now bringing Joseph McWhorter into the fight, so we'll have to keep an eye on these three as they look to maybe be losing touch with the three running right in front of them. And a side note from that, when Jeremy Brown said that he, in that incident, thought that he was going to meet Jesus after that comment I made about the Lizard car and looking at that lizard on the back of it, seeing the face of God. When he said that, I started to get some ringing in my right ear, so I wonder if that's just a sign from the gods telling me that I need to stop saying such things on the air.
No, you're good, man. No way Kluwa just did that. Oh, my goodness. They're keeping it green. Keep it green. No caution. Keeping it green. A lot of contact for a lot of cars up front, though. That's going to be a really big deal for the majority of the top five. Kluwa. Yes.
Let's take a look at this here, Kirk. This was ugly.
You know, I don't know exactly who to pin that on. 88 a Wiles got heavy front end damage from that. I don't like seeing that. I mean, I really wish that there was a better way to find out there, but it's not much we could really see differently. But that 14 car moves up to third with that move, so technically it works out for him, just not for others. We had another accident. Charles Eaton went back on the racetrack, still had problems, had to cut down to the inside of the racetrack. I think that 75 car is just way too out of hand right now. He's very loose. Trying to hang on to it, went wide. Yeah, take a look right here. Watch what happens. I think you might see something. Lifting, look out. Dave Hoytsma. Yeah, that 75 is just having a really rough day today.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for him, there's a lot of different things going on. Some holes drilled in the roll cage. The tires are full of methane. The gas tank is full of milk. Lots of odd things going on for the number 75.
Okay, battle right now. Looks like I see for the 6th spot, Ryan Von Henschel and Eric Wineland up front. Oh, actually, no. Let's take a look at this battle for third, actually. What happened to the... Oh, McWhorter. Where'd he come from? He went back from 31st on a restart under green. He went from 31st to 3rd. That 73 has been on a march to the front, and he hasn't stopped.
Yeah, he is super quick. We have seen a level of speed and conviction. Yes, yeah, conviction. I nearly said convention. So that's not the word I'm looking for. Or convection. You can tell I've been watching too many cooking videos. But no, that number 73 car, we've seen a level of conviction out of him in this race that we haven't really seen in the opening portion of this season. Trying to bring the thunder here at a track that gave him a championship just a couple of months ago, back on a Halloween in 2025. McWhorter running strong, P3 at the moment for him, but now he's got a bit of a tough task. 2-second gap to himself and Bryce Reiner, and then an even larger margin farther up the road to Benefield, who's leading by 4.3 seconds at the present moment. But I digress. Battling going on right until Ryan Von Henschel and the number 88 car of Daniel Wiles. They have been caught up two by Brandon Hastings, Edward Sherrod Jr., and Kyle Amon looking to get involved in this tussle right here. Now, these cars, I think it's fair to say, Kirk, are driving like the wheels are bolted on sideways. The 88, massive front end damage. 22, my apologies, a little bit of front end damage there as well. Not driving factory fresh as a 2 has a sideways wiggle out of 4.
I don't like how this is looking right now. I'm thinking that this might end up be a problem. We'll see. I don't know. Hopefully they keep it green. Hopefully they keep it clean. There goes Von Henschel on the outside, on the inside. Edward Sherrod Jr. making a move to the inside. That will work. He gets on by. No comeback there for that 2 car. Now Brandon Hastings, next one on the list to try and make a move. But I'm looking up here towards the front, and I'm seeing a lot of cars saving gas. But a car that I really want to keep in mind is driver that 63 car. This guy, Bryson Hixenbaugh, is saving so much gas. He's going to be able to go so much further. And we got pit stops maybe in about 10 to 20 laps if these guys are pushing. But I think Hixenbaugh, you can see he's shutting the car off. You know, he's pushing, holding in the clutch, shutting the car off or something like that, saving every ounce of gas he can. Holding in the clutch, I mean, yeah, he's lifting way earlier than most folks. Him and the 1 car, Dustin Hall, they're on the same strategy, but they're about to get lapped because look at this. Adam Benefiel, the leader, is right on his tail. And he's just going to let him go. Hixenbaugh lets that 83 car go.
See, now, at this moment, if you get lapped right now, you're going to have to just try and make it all the way through to the end because you can't really come back from that unless you have a yellow, which, if there was a yellow, he wouldn't even get the lucky dog now because the 1 has just been lapped as well. So I got to wonder what Bryson Hixenbaugh is cooking right now. Is he going to make a 5-star meal or is he going to burn the kitchen down? We'll have to find out. He's made some high IQ moves in the past and just looking to find his footing once again. We talked about the dominant season and campaign that he had in 2025, but the end part of that season, he barely made it into the championship before he really had to rely on those playoff points that he had heading off into that. Really struggled as we got into the final few rounds of 25 and now here in 2026, despite the fact that he has a single pole. Just looking to get a good start to this season down for him, but his main rival from last season of Adam Benefiel, it's looking to come up well for him here tonight. Last season we saw 2 different winners win the races at Phoenix. It was Charles Velasquez Jr. grabbing the win this spring, and your P3, runner of Joseph McCorder, who was able to win it in the fall. Gives me the same feeling that we're going to have something like that again here this season, Kirk, as Brandon Hastings in the 81 car has now made that call to come into the pits.
Yep, pit stop starting already. Look, the thing is, this is actually going to be a good tell to see how much time you'll lose. The 81 was running just outside of top 10. Heading down pit road, they're already 1 lap down. So even though that they came down pit road early, they're going to lose maybe a lap or even a lap and a half to 2 laps before they're able to get back out on the racetrack at full speed. Because of that, I think that what we might be seeing out of the 83 is going to be tested very much so by the car he just lapped. If we stay green, then it is going to be a race between those 2. Again, I don't know how else anyone else would be able to beat the 83 otherwise. If I were on a racetrack today, like I was last season, I can tell you right now, I'd be doing exactly what Hixenbaugh did. Knowing how dominant, how fast that 83 of Adam Benefiel is, you got to try something different. And trying to save enough gas to make it all the way to the end after that big crash that we saw Flip with, no doubt about it. That was the right choice, I think. If we could take a look at the stint right there, you got 66 laps. But if we could look even lower, I don't know if we have the ability to see. There we go. It's going through 51 laps since he went down pit road. So he has an extra handful of laps for him. That that caution that we had where a car flipped, that's exactly when he came down to top off on gas. And he's trying to save from there. And we see 67 laps stint for these leaders. And they could probably stretch it to 75, maybe 79 in that range. we could see a pit stop happening anywhere from now to the next 5 to 10 laps for most of the field.
You know, Kirk, talking about the strategy options of what these drivers can play, if I had $1, I would put it into my wallet. One thing that you have to consider here at Phoenix is how long the pit lane is compared to the rest of the track. You know, there's the pit entry right there heading your way out of 1 and 2, and continues on all the way pretty much to the entry of the turn when you finally build up the speed to get back up and rolling. It is so unbelievably long. We saw it that last cycle of pit stops. The drivers who had just made their way into the pit stall already 1 lap down. William Owens coming into the pits from 27th. He's going to be all the way at the tail end of the field once he exits back out onto the racetrack. So with that lengthy pit lane and how much you have to kind of swallow your own pride to say, okay, yep, I need to come down pit lane right now. Everybody got to do everything in their power to stay out on the racetrack for as long as they can. Hold out hope for a yellow, or just try and pull off some fuel-saving masterclass to just try and make it as far to the end as they can. Even for the drivers who came in during that previous yellow, though, Kirk, do you think they can realistically make it to the checkered flag? That would be a very tight squeeze.
I think they can. We're going to find out for sure in the next few laps, but I think it's possible. Now, whether or not they're going to have the lead is different, because they're already losing a lap, but staying out, running at this pace, you might get caught again by the guys who have fresher tires. Look, the stint so far is at 71 laps for these leaders. The stint for the folks that are not quite yet, out there, Hicksonball is at 55. So the difference between those, again, let me make sure I got that right. Hang on. Is going to be 16 laps difference. So that means that whatever these guys up front can make, when they start pitting up front, we're going to start looking at their stint, and then we'll add 16 to it. And hopefully that'll tell us what lap these guys can make it to. And remember, this is hardcore saving. This is different than what the leaders are doing right now. Leaders are pushing kind of hard. There we go. McWhorter comes down. That's going to be 72 laps for McWhorter. 72 laps. Keep that in mind. We're going to keep doing some math in the back end, but Ron, keep calling as we got more cars coming down pit road.
We got Hunter Trull coming into the pits as well. Ryan Von Henschel into the pits as well. So this is the most substantial trickle of green flag pit stops that we have seen at all here tonight. Fascinating to see it coming down now, but so a lot of questions left to be unanswered. Casey Graves into the pits too, waiting to see how McWhorter, Von Henschel, Bryce Rainier holding on to he was holding on to P2 before he just came down pit lane. That'll be fascinating to see where he exits out. McWhorter 14 seconds down in the other pit stall, 44.8 seconds down pit lane. He can make that 47.2 by the time he came across the stripe. So this is a substantial run of pit stops. And now we've got your race leader of Benefiel coming into the pits here as well. So this is going to be the money stop. This is going to be fascinating. You can tell it's close quarters because I'm getting the hiccups from all the action that we're about to see. Benefiel now in his pit stall. He's joined in the pits in this run by Blake Kluot and Daniel Wiles.
All right. So I'm looking at this right now. 15 or 16 laps difference. So that means that Bryson, Hicksonball, and those guys, whenever they come down pit road, or if they come down pit road, they need to save 18 laps. They need to save 18 laps of gas. Now, how long is that? Again, this track, the info on it, I mean, it is, again, a 1 mile track. So that means you need to save at least 18 miles. 18 miles is what you need to save. Now, you can probably do that. I'm not going to say it's impossible. Not to mention, there's guys that are out there running 77 laps. So these guys have also saved. So I went off the mat of going 74. That's only going to benefit Hicksonball if we stay green. Oh, caution's out. That changes everything. Forget it. Everything's over. Zodiac causes yet another crash in the Friday Night Lights series going around. Let's see what happened to the 37. Heavy front end damage.
Yeah, I wonder if there was an extra car involved in this. That's a very odd bit of damage to have heading off through the turn in the way that he did, but it brings to an end that round of green flag pit stops, and that's going to shake things up quite a lot here in this race. That was the 08 who had no view of that. Thankfully, that worked out well. So we'll roll this back to find that number 37 car. He was running into some trouble a bit earlier on here in this race. We'll look right
Here
now.
we go.
It was him, the 76, side by side into turn number 3 and 4, and loses it around, and he's going to impact the inside wall. Oh, that was a big shot.
Yeah. Yep. That giant strategy plan, all the math, throw it out the window. Right there, that changed everything. And it's also thrown a wrench in this because this is multiple cars that were down pit road under, taking tires. The big benefactor here, there's a lot of cars that were not on the lead lap that stayed out because they were saving that ended up being just fine. But I'm not seeing very many winners here. Like, I don't know who's going to come out of this on top. It might, I don't think it's Benefiel, but it could be. I don't know. Ron? What do you think, Ron? What do we... This race just got immediately more complicated than I could comprehend, Ron.
Yeah, it's certainly been complicated to a 10th degree. This is... I will say it will be a fascinating run through to the checkered flag to see who's going to be able to make what work. I mean, we are within pretty much a stone's throw of that checkered flag coming out. It's been, frankly, throughout the race, we've seen everybody kind of worrying about this pit cycle, worrying about just getting to this point of the race where we find ourselves in right now. Well, now they're there. They don't have to worry about just trying to get here, because we are here. If you haven't gotten to where you're going, you aren't there yet, but these racers are now here. Don't have to worry about just trying to manage this race. They can now go on full attack, but with a shuffled up pack, that is going to make that attacking game really tricky to try and manage. It's like deciding to go for a run in a field, but just so happens that's a minefield that you're trying to run in.
Here we go. Coming to get the restart again. This is going to be the restart. Up front, it is Benefiel. Hastings now up front. Delayed again. I thought we were going to get back going green. Thank goodness they threw a delay there. In the back of the field, they're kind of all over the place. So we're going to have that another group. But let's take a look again at this grouping up front, because we need to make sure that we find out who's who, how they ended up, where is everybody, and how they get where they are. Adam Benefiel leading the race. Somehow it worked out for him, pitted at the right time, worked out. Brandon Hastings in the 81 car. He's going to be in second somehow. I have no idea how he was able to get there. But then after that, Joseph McWhorter, Bryce Reinier. And then after that, Jacob Simpson started 27th up to 5th. Then Eric Wineland, who started 32nd up to 6th. Then Alex Murray, Noah Woods, Drew Prohl, and Wesley Napier. That is your top 10. Outside lane restart.
Yeah,
you're
on the
right,
outside
Ron.
line. That's gonna be funky.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but I like the idea because checks up the inside line. 83 is the one who decides when to go anyway. So we'll see how it goes at 83 on the outside first time. With the restart zone, backing away, easy. Huge checkup on the bottom, all the way back, kind of an accordion effect going on. A little sketchy for some folks in the back of the pack having to avoid an accident there, but they made it through just fine. Three-wide battle for second, though.
Oh, golly. These drivers playing with fire early. Look at that 5 trying to squabble up. Oh, that's going to end these series beyond the 22 at the epicenter. He's the car playing the bumper car's effect, and he gets clobbered by the 99, it looked like. And we're still green.
Yeah, we are still green. Staying green up front everywhere. Apparently, we are staying green. Jacob Simpson was the one that was involved in that the most, but Hunsinger, it looks like. Brandon Hunsinger in the 92, I believe it may be, was the driver who hit him on the front straightaway. It was Hunsinger in the 92. But we'll have a few seconds for this to get settled out, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. Kind of wild that there was no caution for that. But, again, this front group is starting to single file out, and the positions on the racetrack hasn't changed much.
Yeah, so after probably one of the more hectic restarts that we've had of the night, Kirk, things fully settling into a groove right now. Still some side-by-side racing farther up the road, though. This is 21 to 5. This is a fight for the final spot inside the top 3 right now as your top 2 looking to drive off into the sunset. Bryce Rainier and Eric Wineland, your drivers squabbling up here in this fight. You got the 5 on the outside, the 21 on the inside line as they head their way now down to 3. The wall scrapes really getting bad farther in the back, despite the fact that things may have settled down compared to the comparative shenanigans that went down right as we grabbed the green flag. I still don't have a good feeling about this, Kirk, I'll be completely honest.
Sketched out, doesn't even begin to describe it for me. Wineland moves up to 3rd as we got a replay here of what happened there with the 22 car. Out of the corner, turn 4, lifted a little bit, got squeezed. No, the 95 of Napier got up into the wall, and that's what sent the 22 a little squirrely. 92 had nowhere to go, and that's going to be one hell of a photo screenshot to see that car flying up in the air for the 92. Not one you'd like to see, but definitely a cool look. As Wineland moves up to 3rd. And that 73 car tries to chase down Benefield.
Yeah, the 92 turned that car into a monster truck in that moment, heading off into turn number 3 and 4, but I digress. The battling's still intense. Wineland now into P3. Rainier, though, feeling some pressure. Noah Woods in the number 56 car. He's having somewhat under the radar drive here in this race, but he's looking to peak at the right time, trying to move his way farther up the road. P4 would be a fantastic result for him.
Oh, they're wrecking off at turn number 2. The 94 just spun out of car, and the caution will come out. They've stopped at the bottom of the racetrack. The 91 car sitting at the bottom. Yeah, Michael Deach, bottom of the racetrack. Saw that from a mile away. The 94 car and the 91. Take a look at this. This is back in 30th. 91 was not clear and chose to come down, and that's where the accident happened. I don't think it was the 94's fault at all there.
You know, that's a tough part about going side by side heading out of turn number 2 here at Phoenix. There is that point where all the lanes merge into one. And when you hit that's when sort of stuff like that takes place. Drivers running different lines, different tactics through the turn, merging into that one point of doom and disaster taking place as a result of it. Unfortunate for Michael Deach. He's going to be all the way at the back of the pack when we grab this restart. So let's take a look once more at the drama that nearly put us under yellow beforehand. There's the 22 of Simpson with the bumper cars action. There's the 92 ramping up on the side of him, the 30 nearly clobbering into the side of the 22 there as well. Major damage on those race cars. I'm sure they have to come down pit lanes and try and fix that, as I can see a big sideways snap right before this drama took place with a 91. There you can see the 17 had a pretty nice battle as they headed their way across a stripe. Here comes a 94. I will say, I think it kind of assign blame to both drivers, at least from my glance at that. I think that both of them, you can't blame them, but they certainly contributed to the incident taking place.
You know, I think that the only thing we need to really focus on here is that look at this laps to go sign. Got 18 laps to go. We got that 83 out front. He has been getting the best restarts. Doesn't matter what lane he restarts in. If you're the driver of the 73, McWhorter, you went from the back all the way in 31st, all the way up to the top 3 in the long green flag stint, and then you had these 2 cautions come out. If you're that 73 car, I mean, you got to think about what you're willing to do to get through and past the 83, but it's less of what you're willing to do and more of what you can do. Getting to the back bumper is is seemingly very difficult with that 83 there. Also, the back of the 5 car. We were talking about him a little bit ago, Rainier. He has a lot of rear end damage right now. That thing is caved in on the 5 car. And because of that, I think it's going to be a difficult thing for him to be able to handle that car on the rear of the car. The air is going to be upset. We're going to find out how well they do. We got new guys in the top 10 are here. I want to mention Tanner Marty's up front now. Dustin Hall has now entered the picture. Wesley Napier sitting right now in 6th. I mean, not a bad run for these guys. Noah Woods. These guys you didn't see up in the top 10 all day. Now they're starting to show up. And we're about to get this thing back underway. There goes Adam Benefield. Watch the jump. It's important he gets a good restart here. Through that restart zone, back underway, Benefield gets a good jump. I'd say that's enough for him to be comfortable. But the 73 is going to pull down and try to catch up to the back bumper as quick as he can.
Yes, still more pressure, still a boatload of drivers deciding to duke it out and go for the moves as if it's the last lap of the race. Your top 4 for the most part, single followed out, although the 56 trying to rattle the cage of the 95. That's Wesley Napier and Noah Woods squabbling up for 5th at the moment. Further behind, though, seeing the wall scrape become more of a common occurrence. The handling kind of sucks in all of these machines, and you can certainly see that because the barriers get a bit more love than they were a bit earlier on.
And I'm looking all over this racetrack, and a couple cars are up out of the groove, falling back. A couple cars are up, trying to make their way towards the front. One of those going towards the front, Hixenball, trying to make his way back up towards the front after he made all those mistakes. After the cautions didn't fall his way, I should say. He didn't make very many mistakes. Cautions just didn't fall his way. And now he's trying to come back. The 94, who was involved in that little accident earlier, is now trying to come back as well. The 81 of Hastings, Truel, all these guys were up front at one point, but now they're stuck mired back in traffic, and it's so hard to pass here. It's going to be a miracle if they're able to make it back up to the top 10 in just 14 laps. As Noah Woods battling Wesley Napier for position, this is battle for the 5th place spot. Dustin Hall joins the fight on the bottom.
So, and I still don't have a good feeling about these battles, I'll be honest, Kirk. After going through the first 3 quarters of this race as cleanly as these drivers did, only one major incident of note. I think they're still a little bit nervous, still a little bit jittery, and they're trying to get the moves done at every single opportunity. The level of aggression that we have throughout this field is strong. With 12 laps left to go, though, my main focus is on that battle up at the front, and what's going to intensify first? Will it be the squabbling between Benefield and McWhorter for the race lead, or will it be McWhorter and Wineland trying to settle who runs at your podium here? It certainly looks like it may be the latter instead of the former in that case, because right now Benefield holding on to a half a second margin as McWhorter is only 0.2 in front of Wineland for second.
You never know how it's going to go up front, but you're starting to see chaotic driving most of the field. We got 10 laps to go when they cross the stripe. This is no longer sit back, relax, save your tires. It's a go time. Get going. That's how drivers going to be right now. They're not going to be driving each other kind. They're going to no more give. They're going to only take. And up front, you don't see much of that, but through the back of the field, they are all over the place, up against the wall, trying to get every spot they humanly can. And I mean, from the beginning of the race to now, remember this, we started with 40 cars. Out of those 40 cars, only 31 are still out there on the lead lap. Everybody else is at least 1 lap down. They are 3 wide in the back a couple places. But yes, this battle for second is just trying to heat up. And the 83 is just hoping that they keep battling as the 21 scrapes the wall that time. It's just going to be very difficult for anyone to catch the 83.
Yeah, I fear that these racers behind not being able to settle their differences is just allowing Adam Benefield to drive off into the sunset, even though that happened probably about an hour ago now. Side by side battling, though, for 5th. This is Noah Woods and Dustin Hall side by side through turn number 3 and 4. Looks like the 56 is going to hold on to that spot. If Noah Woods can hold on and remain in the top 5, that would be a muddy result for that driver, the number 56 car.
No doubt about it. It'd be a good day for him. He needs to have one of those. For points-wise, Noah Woods, again, Having a good run so far. We'll see if he's able to hang on to that top 5. He's got a fast guy right on the 6. Yellow's out. Caution on the front. Oh, man, it's Dave Hoytsma. Oh, man. I really don't like seeing that car get turned around. Coney Setup Shop sponsored 79 car, Dave Hoytsma. See what happened here. He was on the bottom of the racetrack. 91 was up top. Wasn't even his fault. Yeah, I think the 91 just got loose and came down into the 79. Let's take a look at that again if we can from on board to the 7. Oh, there we go. High above would be good enough. Let's see if we can't see. Watch that 91 car. Let's see if he snaps loose or what the situation is with the 91.
Just diamonding off the corner, and I think he got a bit of a wiggle, but was remaining tight to the inside, and just Hoytsma really not enough room to stretch out his legs heading out of the turn. Unfortunately, kicking the back of the chair and kicking him into the barrier. That's a sledgehammer shot to the fence. Hoytsma, huge damage on that race car with a huge hit. Very lucky that Brian Wortman didn't completely T-bone into the side of him. We've already seen enough T-bone action tonight. Oh, yeah. I don't want to see another driver go for a barrel roll. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is obvious. I'm looking at the replay from right on board the 91. He has turned the wrong direction. He turned to the right. So you could tell that car was definitely loose. No doubt about it. And so that's where that incident came from. Hate to see that for Dave. Hopefully he'll be able to come back next week and make it to the end without any incident. We got a lap car going by. It's Tim Phillips getting his lap back. We'll still have about 31 cars on the lead lap when we go back green. We're coming to get 5 to go when they cross the stripe this time. And the leader, Adam Benefiel, just seems to be unbeatable right now. That 73 car of Joseph McCorder just does not get the launch off the restarts that he needs. He needs to have a ungodly good restart to be able to make any moves on that 83 of Benefiel. And I mean, without jumping it, it is going to be difficult to actually match that 83 car. If you're reactive, you're not going to beat him. If you're proactive and take a guess, you might get a penalty or it might work out for you. But I have no idea. That 83 and the 73, it's all about who gets the best jump. And I think that 83 has the best advantage because he's the control car. But 73 is going to have to guess if he wants to actually keep up with him.
Yeah, the phrase, that will do, I think, is one that's definitely going to be echoing in these drivers' minds. But Kirk, we're going to have only one handful of laps left to go. Maybe the potential of some more yellows, we'll have to find out, but let's see who's going to ace this restart.
Here we go, through that restart zone. Benefiel on the bottom, McCorder on the top. Through that restart zone, and it's going to be Benefiel getting a good start. Nobody on the outside line got a good jump. They had to check up so bad. There goes Dustin Hall. He's wrecking in front of the field, keeping it straight. More cars are going. Yeah, big time crash. Caution's going to come back out, no doubt about it. Facing the wrong way. And a wreck in turn one as well. More cars wrecked around. 92 car. Lots of cars spinning, crashing, all in turn number 1 as well. The 88 car got spun, but here's the 1 car getting pile driven from the back from Daniel Llewellyn, spinning him out. And he also collects the 22 car, who will alt F4 after that or get DQ'd.
He got DQ'd. Yeah, he got DQ'd.
Yeah, and then after that, you got to take a look at the 88 car as well on the restart. But take a look at the 1 car here. You're going to see this huge checkup up front. 12, it wasn't even 23's fault. He got rear-ended. 23 got rear-ended, and that's what he got sent into it. And then right there, Seth Foudy got into the back of the 88, spun him out, collected more cars in turn number 1. The 91, the 92, and the 74 all involved in an accident here on that restart. But they waited all the way to the end of the day to start wrecking. We had clean racing all day, and now we have the end of the race, which is expected. So let's take a look at that again. Here's that checkup. The 76 was the one who did not check up for him. 22 had nowhere to go, and that's what DQ'd that 22 is. The 88 got spun by Seth Foudy up into the 30 car. 91 gets involved, 74 Wortman. Guys just trying to get through, and this is where we might see some DQs happen more and more often, Ron.
And you know what I said about the opportunity for some drivers to bounce back if a yellow came out and we sent ourselves into green-white checkered territory?
Yeah.
Well, we're now into green-white checker territory here, and I can't say I'm too surprised. That's such a shame, though, for Jacob Simpson. He was putting together a very, very well-composed drive. Strong drive as well. Showed some good pace, held some good positions early. But a DQ for him, that's going to be rather disastrous for your winner at Atlanta. That's going to put him on the back foot massively as we continue on this series, continue on this season of Friday Night Lights action. But still got at least one more restart left to go here. But I don't think the chaos is entirely out of these driver systems, at least yet.
Man, I don't know. I think that these unlimited green-white checkers are going to make this interesting, to say the least. We already see that pace car having the lights out as they go through turn 2 right now. Man, pace car's going to dive into the pit road. Man, if any of these cars have any problems on these restarts, now maybe fuel might be a problem. Maybe they only filled it up for just one green-white checker, maybe not. They typically just put enough fuel to get to the end of the race, but now we got these green-white checkers. Might be a problem with fuel. Keep an eye on it. So get the restart back underway. 83 through that restart zone. Who's going to have the jump this time? It looks like it's going to be 83. Not seeing any crashes yet. Keeping it straight through the field so far, but crazy moves by Napier, for example. Going to the bottom. This is where all calamity can go down. Side by side for second with Eric Weinland on the bottom.
Ooh, is everybody squirrely? A little bit of wall contact being made, but we're coming to the white flag here, and looks like Benefield may be in the clear.
Benefield comes across the line to get the white flag. 1 lap to go here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Phoenix Raceway, Valley of the Sun 200. That 83 car has been dominant all day. Nobody has been able to deal any damage to that 83. Nobody's even been close to battling him all day. Won both stages. And now as he comes through the final set of corners and they wreck behind him, one car's flipping on the back straightaway. But the 83 of Adam Benefield will win here at Phoenix and take a win to help him go for a championship.
Benefield wins, and somebody, I think, flipped over the pit wall. At least the barrier on the inside as they headed down the old start-finish stretch. There were drivers still wrecked against the outside fence as they headed their way through 3 and 4. As Benefield was grabbing the victory in dominating fashion, let's take a look at what was going on farther behind. I think it was Blake Kluot at the epicenter of all that. He was the one that got absolutely clobbered there. There you can see the 71, the 81, many more racers piling into it. The 14 of Blake Kluot is one that we need to keep an eye out for, as well as the 01. Casey Graves had a pretty wild ride in this as well. There you can see he was the one that gave the punt off to Blake Kluot. Oh my goodness me, I thought he completely flipped it over the inside pit wall. I don't think he did, but he certainly got close to it. That car had probably about 3 feet of air underneath the back of it, maybe even more. That was an absolutely wild ride for all of them. My goodness.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of accidents, a lot of wrecks, but up front, still, we got to talk about it. Adam Benefield. We're going to take a look at that here in a second. Here's an onboard.
Golly. Oh, he was a gnat's beard hair away from ending up on the pit lane. Yeah, we've seen some wild accidents here this season, Kirk, and a lot of them coming from this race. Who would have thought that Phoenix to the desert? It's those skinwalkers, I tell you.
Yeah, and it's only like really 4 crashes all day today. It wasn't that many crashes. I mean, it was very clean, but when they did wreck, they wrecked. Simple as that. Look at that 83. Team Conti Sim Performance going to victory lane here in the Friday Night Lights Series. Adam Benefield gets it done, dominating fashion. The driver just did not have any challengers at all today. Nobody kept up with his stuff. Nobody could deal with him. That 83 just dominant. And from his average finish, which was horrible here last year, he is now in a position where he can come away and say, yep, I know what I'm doing here at Phoenix. I can win. No doubt about it. He goes out, And he just chooses to win. And we can't wait to talk to him here shortly, as we got our finishing results going to be coming across your screen here shortly. The 83, Adam Benefield, your winner here tonight. But take a look here. Finishing in second, Joseph McWhorter, followed by Eric Wineland. Very close, but not quite into second. Still a podium finish for him. Very happy to see it. Noah Woods, great finish. Fourth place for Noah Woods. What a night. Not expected at all. Great run for him. Bryce Rainier. Sorry, let me make sure I get this right. It is Rainier. There we go. Bryce Rainier. Edward Shearer Jr. gets sixth. Seventh will be Tanner Marty, coming out of nowhere. Where did he come from? Somehow able to get a top 10 out of that. Eighth place, Bryson Hicksonball recovers from his failed strategy ploit, I should say. And then the ninth place finisher will be the 95 of Wesley Napier. And Kyle Ammon recovers well from falling back early in the race to get a top 10.
Yeah, then looking outside of our top 10, we got Cliff Mullins in the 44 car, finishes this race in 11th. Alex Murray in 12th. He had a wild night from start to finish. Drew Prohl will be classed in 13th. Jared Grodzinski in P14 in the 31 machine. Good drive from him throughout the race. Daniel Wiles, another driver who's firmly inside the top 10 early, ends up running into some trouble. William Owens directly behind it in 16th place. Brendan Hunsinger in 17th. Tim Phillips in P18. Michael Mesnard is classed in 19th in the 35 car, with Bill Hull completing her top 20.
Most of these guys coming up are all involved in that accident. You got Blake Kluwat, Brandon Hastings, Seth Foudy, Hunter Truel, Brian Wertman, Casey Graves, Evan Mesnar, Matthew Boston Wheeler, Dustin Hall, and Ryan Von Hinchel finishing out your top 30. Then you got, of course, Michael Deach, Daniel Llewellyn, Jacob Simpson, Hunter Bogdan, Dave Hoytsma, Kevin Zosiak, Charles Eaton, Jeremy V. Brown. Saw have that crazy flip. Devin Medeiros and Cody Bird round out your 40 starters for tonight. But it's time, folks. Time to bring in the winner of tonight's race. Adam Benefield in the booth with us. Adam, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Dude, you got it done, man. You dominated all night. You kicked everybody's tail. You showed them who's in charge. Got to tell you, at the end of the day, Adam, how's it feel to be able to just go out there and have a Sunday drive and somehow win the dang thing without having anybody really challenge you all day?
Yeah, it was kind of shocking and surprising, to be honest truth. I absolutely hate this place. I think I say it every single time I come here and somehow end up getting interviewed. I think this place would be a hell of a lot better as a bass pond than a racetrack. Not a fan of this place at all, but I've never drove a car that good around this track. Nick Ottinger absolutely just knocked it out of the park this week with this car. I never felt like I was pushing the car at all. I was literally on cruise mode the whole entire time. Somebody says I had something for me. I strongly disagree. That car, clean air, nobody was touching it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't even have a doubt in my mind. The only way anybody was going to beat you was by jumping the restart. That was it. And even then, I don't think they would have had a shot other than wrecking you. So, Adam, I got to say, at the end of the day, it's rare when you see a Friday Night Lights series that had a race where the one guy just led almost every single lap. It felt like you were up front all day. And now you get to have the trophy. No doubt about it. You're a winner here in the in the Friday Night Lights. I got to ask you now, what are you going to do? What are you going to go do after all this?
Sit up there, BS with the guys, make fun of Bryson for trying to pull a strategy move. That wasn't real smart on his part. And then take a nap or go get some sleep, make a 9 o'clock tea time in the morning.
All right. Not bad, Adam. Sounds like a pretty good plan to me. Are you gonna do any liquids tonight?
Well, I mean, I'm breathing, ain't I?
That's pretty good. All right there, Adam. Tell me, you want to shout out anybody on after this win? You already did Nick Ottinger, no doubt about it, but still, just curious if you have anybody else.
Everybody at Team Conti, Sim Performance. I mean, Jesus Christ, that anybody watching want to go buy it, that setup right there, which I know this weather's different from B Open, but that was a looser. So that was the setup, benchmark looser or whatever. But great setup this week. Everybody, all my guys that I raced with besides Bryson, uh, yeah, dude, like that was so dumb from Bryson. Like he thought that he was going to be able to do that, and I don't know what he was thinking right there. Like, mm, the math just didn't math. But you'll have that.
Yeah, actually, I'll be honest with you. It was going to be close. If we
No,
had no cautions,
no.
at least on our end, it had been real close.
I come out of the pits and I was 6 seconds behind him.
Oh, you're going to pass him, no doubt about it. It wasn't going
Yeah.
to be a winning move, but it was a move that he could have pulled off, just not for the win.
Kurt, it was Bryson, and it was dumb.
Okay, fine. You want to say that? Sure, that's fine. You go ahead. Well, again, thank you, Adam, for talking with us. And you going to be racing next week?
I'm going to race tomorrow night and next week. I'm here every week.
All right, pal. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Best of luck here in the FLCC, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you all.
All right. Man, he just really does not like Bryson at all, does he, Ron?
Yes, yeah, I told you. It's a friendly rivalry for sure, but a rivalry nonetheless. It's like a professional wrestling rivalry. They're good buddies out there on the racetrack. I'm sure they constantly trade little jokes that they can say about one another. But let's have a chat with a very deserved P2 finisher at the end of the race, a man who had to battle back from a lot. Joseph McCorder now joining us here in the booth. Joseph, welcome in. P2 for you here at Phoenix, but the path to get there was far from straightforward, man. How was it out there?
Oh, it was quite the drive, wasn't it? Oh, that's two races in a row here in the spring where I have done that and had to drive all the way back from the back of the field to the front and finish second. I did the same thing last season in stage 1, got a speeding penalty, and then finished second.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about having to come back from that EOL right towards the end. Thankfully, some yellows helping you out late, but by that point, you had already made your way up into the top 3. How was that number 73 car treating you?
Oh, it was really good. I mean, that thing did not struggle in traffic at all. It just sucks that it seemed like Adam just had way more speed through the corner than what we did tonight, and I could definitely tell. Even being behind him, it felt like I had to slow down more to get the front end to turn. So, um, I knew my biggest thing tonight was just maximize points. I didn't really have the car to go battle him, but all I was focused on at that point was just, hey, maximize the finish. Don't worry about trying to chase down Adam. Don't burn the car up and just finish right where we are, because I think we definitely had the second place car for sure.
Still a good result here. It's been a wild start to the season. I mean, looking at the calendar, Daytona, Atlanta, the Circuit of the Americas, and now here at Phoenix, the first traditional oval. Do you feel like the season really starts now with the first 3 races kind of being the preseason thunder?
I think tonight was the first real taste, in my opinion, on who's where and speed wise, and then whenever it comes to short tracks and the smaller flat tracks. So I think what's going to be interesting is next week is Vegas. And I think that's really what's going to really start the season. I think tonight was really the start to the season, in my opinion. Some people say that Phoenix isn't a very good track and not a good indicator of speed. Some do. I mean, you can kind of have that conversation. To me, this is where the season really starts. And I think we're right where we need to be. Johnny and the boys have been putting up some really good numbers in official, and my time has been really tight trying to even get any races in official. I really need to, but and then adding on top of my plate, I'm also racing Crown Vics at an oval track in real life here in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to even more affect everything that I've got going on. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, we're going to have to really, really, really fight hard for the rest of the season. These guys have way more testing time than I do. So, but that didn't stop us from winning the championship last season. I don't think it's going to stop us this season.
Yeah, and cool to hear that you're going to be running some Crown Vics in real life over the next few weeks. That's pretty darn interesting to hear. But before we let you go and get a little bit of practice in for the next round of the championship at Las Vegas, Joseph, well, I'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs for getting you this P2.
Yeah, first off, I got to thank Outlier Speed Co. Johnny and the boys have been building some amazing cars, and we've had some, really good runs so far. Our super speedways were really good, and our road course was kind of okay. But Johnny and everybody over at Outlier Speed Co. have been working so hard, especially with trying to work with the guys getting ready for Road to Pro. So go check them out at outlierspeedco.com. Red Camel Racing, check them out at redcamelracing.com. Fire suit, shoes, helmets, you name it, they've got it. For anything that you need for a race weekend, amazing equipment. Need to shout out you guys for the awesome broadcast. You guys doing a fantastic job each and every week. Can't wait to go back and watch this one. All the admins for the really hard work, the drivers for, as always, a really good race. I mean, I think we proved week in, week out that we're one of the best leagues on the service. So great job to everybody tonight, and yeah, just looking forward to getting to Las Vegas.
Well, Joseph, I'll warn you right away. First off, thank you for the kind words about the broadcast, but I will warn you at some point during the show we were talking about staring at lizards while on LSD, so I will forewarn you about that. But thank you for joining us here in the booth. Well done, the P2, and we'll see you next time at Las Vegas.
Absolutely. We can't wait for it.
Sounds good. That right there is Joseph McWhorter, P2 finisher here in the race. And Kirk, I'll pass it off to you to have a chat with our final podium runner, that being Eric Wineland.
Eric Wineland coming up here in the booth, giving us a chat. Tell you, man, yeah, that's yourself kind of an odd day, but you come out with a podium, man. It's good to hear from you. First time this season, we even got a camera for you. How you doing, Eric?
I'm good, Kirk. How about you? Dude, man, what a race. We hit the grid with computer problems. Everyone left pit road and everyone was still frozen on my screen. I could hear it. I couldn't see it. It finally came to. Thankfully, they held the start a lap anyway, and we got going. Qualified terrible. I mean, that was. I'm not proud of that qualifying effort, but we battled. Stage 1, we drove through, got to like P18, and then the caution came out for the stage and rolled through pit road. And then I was too busy watching Noah Woods trying to like come up because we had a rule to try to keep the right sides above the dash line on pit road, and I got too busy watching him instead, so right to the back again. And we used stage 2, stage 3 to drive to the front, Kurt.
Got to ask you, man, when that caution came out for 37 doing 37 things, I got to ask you, what did you think about that? Was that like landing perfectly for you? Did that help you or did that hurt you in the long run?
I mean, that's my teammate. First of all, I hated to hear that he was the one that spun. I had no clue what happened. I didn't even find out until he said, yeah, I got 9 minutes of damage. And I was like, well, from what? You were in the accident? And he finally told me he spun. So shout out to Kevin O and Rich at Stealth Racing for bringing me on board this season. It played into our hands massively, Kirk. I mean, that flipped the track position right back in my favor. And right then and there, we cracked into the top 8, top 6. And then we didn't relinquish it the rest of the night. The car was really good on the long run. I hope I get the chance to see it in post, but I felt like I was the best at wrapping the bottom, especially through 1 and 2. I felt like I could go down where pretty much no one else was really going and roll the bottom. Once everyone's tires kind of burned off, they're halfway through a run. The car was just hooked up. And we loved it. So short run pace there at the end with battling Adam and Joseph. It's kind of a crapshoot. You just got to get a good restart. I felt like I didn't have anything special. Adam had the clean air. He looked great all night with the clean air, at least late in the race when I finally got up to the front. But it was nice to finally battle through, Kirk, and get ourselves a finish that I think I'm much more on pace of getting.
Yeah, Eric, got to say, man, it was fun to watch you all night tonight, too, because it looked like you were like, it was looking like a top 10 night, to be honest. And to see you come at the end of the race all the way up to third was real exciting to watch. It was like, man, that's awesome for you, Wyland. Anyway, got to ask anybody want to shout out or anything before we let you go here, Eric?
Yeah, big thank you to the guys that put the league on, Bobby and Jason running race control, Bryson for helping make sure this thing is managed properly here at full length. I call it full length challenge. It's full length cup challenge, I guess still. But the Friday Night Lights series is a great one to run. I'm very thankful to the Lord above that I get some time to make this happen between 2 jobs and being able to get out here a little bit. So not much practice for me. I mean, we tested one day, and by we, I mean me. I ran on a set I had from like a year and a half ago here, and just a couple tweaks to bring it up to today's snuff, and it worked well. Big thank you to, as you see on the car there, Drafty Car and Drafty Car 2 out on Steam. Shout out to Brian Black for the developer there at Speedway Labs. If you guys have not tried it already, what are you doing? Go look at Drafty Car 2 on Steam. Go look at Drafty Car on your mobile device on iOS or Android. A very addicting old school game. If you remember it, if you're old enough for that, if not, it's a great one to play. And then thank you to Jake Nichols and the NTMV6 guys, specifically Jake, for painting this beautiful car. It looks good out here tonight, and I'm looking forward to Las Vegas next week, Kirk. And I can't forget, thank you guys here at Maconi Entertainment for always putting on a great broadcast for us. Howie and Ron and all the guys.
Gotta tell you, Eric, you were one of the best interviewees I've ever had. You're pretty much like got a doctorate in how to do an interview. As also
I've never been trained.
Oh, well, nowadays we're race car drivers. We don't get trained for much. We just get thrown out there most of the time.
Hey, I'll claim I watch a lot of film.
That's it. All right, Eric. Thanks again so much for talking with us, and we'll see you next week in Vegas.
Hey, thank you very much, Kirk. Have a great night.
You do the same, Eric. Eric Weiland. Man, he's so good at these interviews, Ron. Final thoughts for you, Ron. What do you think?
Well, Phoenix proved to be a bit of a silent killer here with some pretty nasty accidents, but one man was the tour of force. Adam Benefiel, dominant. That's the only way that you could sum it up. Dominant here in the 4th round of the championship. Gonna grab his first win of the season and keep a streak going now of 4 different race winners to start off this 2026 campaign. Looking forward to seeing what Vegas may have in store in 1 week's time, seeing whether we could have a repeat winner for the first time or whether we'll bring that streak up to 5. But Adam Benefiel certainly the deserved winner, top of the class here in Phoenix.
Well, that'll just about do it for us here live on Maconi Entertainment. I'm Kirk Mills alongside Ron Muntz, and of course our producer tonight, Howie Burrows. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.